reality, your hands-on experience with financial modeling will not start until if you are a very, very, very good person, maybe after your first year as an analyst. And whatever company employed you would still train you, right? Although there are some general, let me say, standards to financial modeling, but different companies have different methods that they use to deliver it. So what we'll be teaching will be most likely the general standards on financial modeling, such that when you find yourself in an interview, or even if you came about a model, you should be able to figure it out. Does that make sense? You guys look disappointed. Who is disappointed? Oh, I want to know the disappointed guys. We'll take you separately. If you are disappointed, no, I'm serious. We'll just special classes, 8 o'clock. You're not leaving till, and you're coming again tomorrow. Does that make sense? Is anybody disappointed now? Who is still disappointed? I'm hearing yes. Somebody's saying yes underneath. If I hear yes from your angle, all of you are coming tomorrow. All right. So, does anybody know what models are? And by models, I don't mean the ones that run on the walkway. I mean, in the context of this class, what are models? Is there anybody in economics here? Or anybody that studied economics? Where are the economists? The economists. Chine, you're one of them. You're one of the economists. Okay, everybody here is interesting. Okay, so economists should be able to answer what a model is, right? So I want an economist to just tell us. I mean, these are basic economics, ECN 101 or something like that. Who wants to go? Everyone can say. Simplified presentation of complex situations. Fantastic. I like that. I've not heard that before, honestly. And I'm serious. I've not heard that before. You want to say? Are you an OU boy? Unilag. Is it the same lecturer that's teaching us? Where are the OU economics here? Have you heard that before? As in word for word. Are you kidding? Who is teaching you? Because I was in economics, right? I think that's ECN 201 or something like that, when they teach you modeling. And that was exactly word for word. I can remember right now as you are saying it, like that handout, because I was in class. I read the handout. It was written there. Oh yeah, say it again. Abstractions of reality, exactly. Yeah, is anybody, are they recording this class? Because somebody said his lecturers are copying textbooks on the internet. I mean, yeah. But yeah, does anybody want to add to that? Does anybody want to add to the two things that have been said? Anybody? So I like the two definitions. She said they are representations of complex situations, right? Models are representations of simplified representation of complex situations. I mean, that nailed it, honestly. I mean, he nailed it and into death. I'm telling you. I'm serious. Simplified representation of complex reality, right? Or situations, right? Then abstraction from reality. All right. So you guys know what abstraction is, right? Don't think about it in the art field. You know, when I say something is abstract, you guys start thinking it's complex and stuff. And abstraction is just really a simplification, like something out of something, like a subset of something really big. Does that make sense? So what are models? Models are simply what they've said it is. They are abstractions of reality. They are simplified representation of complex reality or complex situations. Now, in reality, the business environment is actually extremely complex. In reality, the business environment is what? Extremely complex. Now, what financial models tend to achieve is to, first of all, simplify the models. Because, for example, the guys that study economics, they will tell you something, ceteris paribus principle. What does that mean? All things being equal. So what that means is that for the non-economics guys, who are the non-economics guys? We that are non-economics, yeah, let's raise up our hand now. Yeah, I studied engineering. Forget that I'm fancying with these people. All right. Yeah, I studied engineering, then I crossed to economics. But yeah, so when you want to create a model, according to economics, they say something like you look at the whole picture, you can identify 20,000 variables or 1 million variables, right? But you pick the most important ones. Then you now say ceteris paribus, meaning all of that things being equal. That is, this class, for example, let's say what are the drivers for this class? What makes people attend this class? So we can say things like, the effectiveness of delivery of lectures, for example. So if the lectures are delivered effectively, right, word of mouth will go around. Does that make sense? Like, I like that class. I mean, the lecturer always delivers. Like, I like the way it teaches. So more people want to come, right? Things like maybe performance at tests and exams. They also drive, attendance to classes. I'm sure you guys are especially OAU people, they know this. When immediately you are moving to maybe from 200 levels to 300 level, the first thing you do is you ask the people that are now in 400 level that, please, what are the classes that you guys passed well? Let's call it this way. We didn't do these things to go and learn them. We did these things to get a certificate. I'm telling you. let's call it this way. So the first thing you do is, guys, they say, this lecturer is wicked though. This one is wicked. You can't pass. Look, all of us, we got C, okay. But this one, it will not stress you. In fact, you will not come to class. You just say you're going to read a textbook and come for test. And you are most likely going to get an A. Do you get? So we make those kind of inquiries. Then you notice that the lecturers that people seem to get A's, they have more students. Does that make sense? In fact, there is this guy, I think still in Nife, Adedoku, inexperienced. You know there are two Adedokuns. There is the experienced Adedoku. Then there's the inexperienced Adedoku. The other one. No, he's in economics. Yeah, that very one. Yeah. So now that guy, I think he taught a course one time, and they gave him a course one time, and a lot of people passed. So the following year, people came. So what the guy did was I failed everybody again. So people ran away. The third year, then he passed all of them. Then people came. That guy is an idiot. I mean, are they recording this class? Oh, sorry, apologies. Scratch that. Please censor these things. I mean, that guy was just gaming students. So everybody knows. So if you are taking this course and you are 2 years down, just know that it's possible that you pass because God knows. I mean, delivery. We've identified delivery as a factor to drive lectures or student attendance. We identify performance of students at exams and stuff like that. Then we could say something like maybe the conduciveness of the lecture rooms, right? If, for example, this lecture room is one that is leaking and stuff like that, people will be like, I don't want to come to that class, right? So let's say conduciveness of environment. What else? What else can you say? Throw things at me. I mean, it should not be only me figuring this out. Time, it could be, time is also very important. For example, I remember my 100 level days, chemistry 101, because I used to be in engineering. Chemistry 101 was 7 a.m. Yeah, I didn't attend anyone. Yeah, wow, 7 a.m. Are you kidding? What are we doing? Are we using it to count money now? That's what's that thing that they are teaching us that time? Organic chemistry. Are you using it to count money now? Are there any engineers in the house? Engineers. You're an engineer. What are you studying? Civil. So you did chemistry 101. So what are you using it for now? And God knows you will not use for anything. I mean, because you are becoming an investment banker. You even make more money than but that does not mean that chemistry 101 is not. Let me be serious. Please be editing this class real time, please. It's very important. All right, but as I was saying, the timing is a critical factor as well because a lot of us didn't attend. So there were 2 chemistry 101 classes. I don't know if they still do that because it's a very large class. Everybody in faculty of science and faculty of engineering were taking, and even some people from education were taking chemistry 101. So there was a 7 a.m. class, then there was an 8 a.m. class. So I can't attend I can't make the 7 a.m. class. So I usually go for the 8 a.m. class when I can attend. So timing of the class might be a factor. Does that make sense? Then sometimes maybe the importance of the course, courses that are mandatory. right? Say, what do they call them? Not caucuses. Those guys that you can't pass if you don't take them. You don't pass. Prerequisite, yeah, prerequisite courses. So prerequisite courses are going to command more attendance than non-prerequisite courses, right? So we've identified like maybe 4 or 5, things now. But there are also some subtle stuff that may not sound very important. Maybe say, yeah, maybe the lecturer farts in class or something. Let me just have an example. And you guys just like, why is that guy always farting? Why is that guy always farting? And you guys, like, she's always calling me, I'm not farting now, why are you calling your nose? As in, she's always calling your nose. Right. So, like, maybe the lecturer always farts. So nobody wants to sit in front anymore. But because you can't avoid sitting in front, you just don't come for the class. Because if, for example, the class started from there, later I can say everybody move forward. Then you now start, okay, please let us stay here. I say move forward, So before you know what's happening, people stop, attending classes or something. But those things are not like super important, right? And there could be hundreds of factors like that are not very critical. But we've identified like maybe 5 major ones. So what economists do is that they hone in on those 5, factors that we just identified, and they say something like ceteris paribus, meaning every other thing being equal, right? We will just focus on these 5 things. That does not mean that in reality, the world or this class, right, or the situation we're analyzing is limited to just those 5 things. Does that make sense? Same way in financial modeling, right? A business environment is extremely complex. I'm sure that by now you guys are already, listening to CNBC, Bloomberg News and stuff. Are you? It could be on Linda KG. It could be on Linda KG because I heard that she has stepped up now. There's an app, Linda KG app. Yeah, who has it on their phones? Yeah, so in reality, the business environment is very complex. Has anybody here done forex before? Traded in forex before? Forex, you traded forex before? Fantastic. So you can tell that sometimes a simple news outbreak can change the entire market, and super unrelated, like super unrelated. For example, the United States declares war on North Korea. What does that mean? As an investment banker, what do you think? Does someone wants to give it a try? No. If you want to try, just raise up your hand. We'll try together. Oh yeah, now. Yeah. Everybody must hear you. Yeah, you're not talking to me.
Okay.
What's your name? Matthew. Can you hear you? Matthew can hear you. Matthew, you can hear me, that? Oh yeah.
Like maybe trade relations that affect the America and probably North Korea, stocks will go up, go down.
Nah, that's too generic, please. Speak like an investment banker. Don't be giving me stocks to go up, stocks to come down. Who wants to try? You want to try? Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy is the work between US and North Korea. The stock that actually military treatment, they're trying to because of the demand for the defense operation. And also, the import from China will actually cost more because China is known to North Korea's main competitor, and they want to retaliate of that with by using planning barriers or import subsidies.
I like that. Who else want to say something? Everybody should say something. I mean, that's not all that's going to happen. A lot are going to happen. You've been trading forex before. What could happen? Well, we can't say North Korea is poor because nobody knows. That's the point. I mean, everything is about Western media, so nobody really knows how poor they are. But I mean, recently they've been taking more pictures of North Korea, and they don't really look poor. But although, I mean, there's the school of thought that believes that they are not the rural areas, and that maybe a lot of people are poor in rural areas. But yeah, but so far, who else want to say something? Guys, give a shot now. I mean, this is a class. This is not interview. You can't fail. There's nothing you say that is not relevant. Have you guys noticed that? That in investment banking, that nothing is irrelevant. Of course, some things are stupid, but nothing is irrelevant, really.
So if there happens to be a war between US and North Korea, I feel it will also have an impact on emerging markets like Nigeria, in the sense that so many people will withdraw their money from the stock market in the US and like to put their money in countries that will not be affected by such wars. So it will majorly have a very good effect on our, like in Nigeria, like it will have a very good effect on our stock market and our crypto system.
Let's say something. Huh? He said what you wanted to say. Emerging markets. Right. 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 Okay. So I mean, everything you guys have said are super wonderful, and honestly, you are all right. As a matter of fact, of course, there's no way you can quantify the effects of what's going to happen right now. But trust me, there are some investment banks that are currently there's something they call exposure analysis. All right, they are currently carrying that out to see, okay, what if this happens? How exposed are we, and what are the mitigating factors? All right, and the tool to carrying that out is modeling. Does that make sense? Because you have to reduce reality to numbers, and that's exactly what modeling is about. You literally have to reduce reality to numbers. I'm sure you guys have heard about, okay, when for the economics, they've had tons of models. I mean, they'll just show you one model is sigma, alpha, pi raised to power 2 equals 0. Anytime you have alpha, sigma, pi, it must always equal to 0. Once you can figure it out, you get your answer or something like that. I mean, you guys have those models, right? I mean, but the truth is, what they are trying to do is they are trying to reduce reality to numbers. Does that make sense? And that's why she said it's a simplified representation. And there's nothing simpler than numbers. There's nothing. So if you are the type of guy that always, or lady, that always said, I don't like mathematics, you are wrong, though. You have to like maths. Of course, your knowledge of mathematics is not supposed to be quadratic equation level or even simultaneous equation level mathematics. Simple arithmetic, BODMAS and stuff, plus or minus, divisions and stuff like that, you should be very comfortable with it. Because that is exactly how, that's the analysis part of, modeling. Does that make sense? You guys are looking at me funny. Are you following? Okay. So, now, there are different types of models. Okay, I kind of did a, have you guys been taught the financial statements? You guys have been taught how they relate to each other? Okay. So, there are different types of financial models. And these different types are dependent on what you intend to achieve. The most basic financial model you find is what is called the three-statement model. They are very basic. In fact, as an accountant, you should have tried it before. Is there anybody in 400 level accounting here? 400 level accounting? 400 level accounting? Nobody? Okay, anybody in accounting? There are no accountants here. You're an accountant? 400 level? 100? Graduate? Fantastic. 400 level? 400 level. So you guys have done financial statement before, right? You've modeled financial statement before. Balance sheet, or what do you guys call it? A statement of financial position, right? P&L, profit and loss, and statement of cash flow. And then sometimes you guys put the retained earnings statement, probably under P&L. Am I right? So that's the basic financial model you find anywhere. Okay, and what you have on this screen, sadly I can't share this with you because this is actual model for a company, a live company in Nigeria today. Although this happened in 2015, so it's a bit stale. But then it won't make sense if I share their figures with you, But as you can see, you can see, right? Sorry. But what you have here is a 3-month analysis of a company in Nigeria, and on the leftmost part, you have their P&L sheet. Are you guys following? You have their P&L. In the middle, you have your balance sheet, right? And on the far right, you have the statement of cash flow. So that's the basic, like the most basic model you find. The three statement model. Are you guys familiar with financial statement? Because the way you guys are looking at me, you look at this is giving me some sort. Does it look too abstract? You can say it's abstract. I'm going to break it down. Does it look too abstract? Huh? Are you sure? Okay, so what's the impact of, let's take an airline business. Nigeria Air. Who said that? I love it. Nigeria Air. So, Nigeria Air is supposed to take its maiden flight sometime on, let's say, 1st of January 2019. And people, generally speaking, because of their love for the country, they try to purchase the ticket ahead of time, right? What's the impact of that on their P&L? Who wants to go? Non-accounting students now. Who wants to go? Huh? Yeah, the flight is not going to take off until 1st of January. That's going to be our first flight. Lagos to Abuja. First flight of Nigeria Air, right? So people are purchasing tickets of before the time, right? I mean, you're not going to purchase tickets on the very day you're flying now. Does that make sense? So people are purchasing tickets, right? So what's the impact of that on the P&L of Nigerian Air? You said? It will improve revenue. Fantastic. What else? I'm going to you. You'll be answering since. You'll be answering since. Somebody else should talk. Who wants to go? You said? Their tax. What will happen to their tax? Their tax will increase. Okay. You still want to talk? Oh, yeah, talk. Oh, yeah, say something. Huh? It won't affect their P&L. It won't affect their P&L. Okay. Who else wants to try? Who wants to try? Who wants to try? No, we're talking about P&L. Just profit and loss. Guys, do you want to change the answer? We are talking about profit and loss. Income statement, yes. It won't affect it. Okay. What kind of expense is that? Is it operating? Is it SG&A? SG&A. So SG&A will go up. Fantastic. What else? Guys, what else? P&L. Should I start choosing people by myself? It will affect their P&L. For real? Oh yeah, guys, who are the guys that are saying that it won't affect their P&L? Stand up. They are going to teach us how they are. Oh yeah, they are the ones that say it won't affect. So what will happen? Somebody came, he brought money, you collected money, you gave the person tickets. What will happen? He said it won't affect their P&L. Yeah, the flight is not taking off on 2019. January to December. It won't affect what? No, I've not asked if it's going to affect their P&L on the 1st of January. I said the flight will not take off. The flight is still in future. Today, we are talking about their P&L today. What's the impact of their P&L? It won't affect their P&L until 1st of January. Accounting students, can you solve this question for us? You are the graduates. What's going to happen? Hey, guys, listen to the expert. Listen to the expert. 1st of January 2019 until so Hello. This is aside again. Oh yeah, accountant. Come and explain to us why we not affect. The principle of accrual accounting. Oh yeah. Principle of accrual accounting. Who are teachers? Yeah, guys, listen. The accountant are speaking. Expenses, not income.
Expenses are recognized.
Guys, listen to this.
Expenses are recognized when they are incurred, not when they are actually paid. But income is recognized when it is
Immediately.
not when you actually receive.
So what's the impact on their P&L?
When in the example you gave back, the collecting the money back, as long as you take up the January 1st, that will affect the P&L.
What's it going to affect P&L? So how would they recognize revenue? It's going to be in form of what? Liability. But that liability has to be reflected somewhere. Liability is on the balance sheet. So what's the corresponding reflection of that liability? Where? It's going to be netted out as cash. Prepaid income. Yeah, that's current liability. So when is it going to become revenue?
It's going to be recognized as revenue when the flights actually come.
So you are saying that by January, that is when the airline will now go and put it on their revenue, on their P&L. No, that's wrong. You're going to record the revenue immediately, but the COGS is what will not be affected. The revenue has to flow back into the to the balance sheet. So guys, listen to this. Immediately, at the time they are collecting the money, it's going to be revenue. It's going to be recognized as revenue. Or do you have a different opinion?
My answer was based on like next day.
As of today, when they collect the revenue, guys, they taught you this class, so that's why I'm laughing right now, because they taught you guys this thing I'm just explaining. As of today, everybody paid today. The flight is not taking off until 1st of January next year, but today it was when people paid, right? You're going to collect that money. No business in the world rejects money, so they're going to recognize that money today. It's revenue, right? However, that revenue is going to flow into their cash and cash equivalents because they collected the money on their balance sheet, all right, and going to be netted out as a, what do you call it that time? Payable. What do you call it? Prepayment? Prepaid income. Okay. Or accounts payable. I think that's the word you guys use. Yeah. So what do you want to say?
Recognized as cash and credit, then the cash is not actually transferred to the PRO. It should be recognized as balance because that's where we show the cash.
Can you impute indirectly into the P&L without a corresponding input from the sorry, can you put that into the balance sheet without a corresponding input from the P&L? Who said yes? Somebody said yes. Oh yeah?
When you recognize it, you receive cash. That means you are debiting cash. Then you receive, and then you are crediting your pay. That means
Exactly. So your cash will increase and your payable too will increase, which will net each other off, because your cash is on the asset side and your payable is on what? Liability side. So you guys know the formula ALE, right? What is the ALE? Exactly. So asset is here. There's a liability. There's a corresponding liability that nets out that asset. So your equity remains the same. Does that make sense? So your balance sheet is balanced. Guys, are you listening to me? So your income goes up, your SG&A goes up, which you mentioned, your SG&A will go up because you are going to be incurring some fixed costs, salaries of your employees, the things that you printing materials for the ticketing and all of that. Your SG&A will go up. Your COGS will be unaffected. So that's the part that I was expecting you guys to say, that COGS will not be affected yet. Does that make sense? Eh? Sorry. Yeah. Eh? They're not flying. Yes. Yes. 1 second. Sorry, let everybody hear you. Let everybody hear you. Can you hear what he said? Yeah.
So what's the essence of different trade payables?
A trade payable control account. What does that mean? Are you an accounting student? Are you an accounting student? Are you an accounting student? You were. So what's a trade payable account?
It's just used to control account. Basically, kind of figure out your sales for the year. So the sales for like the sales for previous sales is there. So like a whole lot of figures are going to be ordered. They are going to net up every that both the accrued sales that you are receiving for that in that period, the ones like for the next period that you use in this period, everything is going to be netted out to bring out the one that will be relevant to the particular
The period. Oh, okay. I don't know about that statement or this book. I'm guessing it's an accounting tool. So this is not necessarily an accounting class, and that's why all the things about your ledgers, balance, your double balance, and all of that, and this that you are talking about is not treated. But with respect to financial statements, it's very key that everybody understands that. All right. As an investment banker, you need to understand the three financial statements. Now, the other things that you guys prepare before you get to this point might be very relevant to this class. If you get what I mean. So I can't tell why it is important to prepare that or not. Do you get me? But what is important is that if I collect money today, and that's why I intentionally use the airline business, because a lot of us are very used to the direct trade situation where you drop money and then the goods is exchanged or the service is exchanged immediately. So if I say something like, okay, if you enter ShopRite today, right, and you pay for Bonvita, what will happen to their P&L? I'm sure everybody will get it right. That revenue goes up, cost goes up, SG&A, then their net income goes up. Does that make sense? Then it flows into their balance sheet, right? So what happens on the balance sheet? Cash goes up. Cash goes up. So what next is that on the liability side? Retained earnings. What happens to retained earnings? Net income flows into retained earnings. Yeah, on the equity side, which balances out the asset side. Then what happens to the statement of cash flow? Cash flow from operations goes up, right? Nothing really happens to investment and financing, right? So we are good. That's like standard. Everybody understood that. The whole class is agreeing. Does that make sense? Now, there are some businesses that require to receive money before service is rendered or goods are exchanged. For example, logistics business that do delivery. Sure, you get, like you're on Jumia or something like that, then you pay for something, then they have to deliver to you until you receive that service, until that delivery is done. Do you get? They've not really serviced you, but you've paid ahead for delivery. Does that make sense? So now for the goods, you know that most of these e-commerce sites you see, they're not the ones that do the delivery. You know that, right? You just see that it's branded Jumia and all of that, but there's a B2B angle to it. You find companies like Max.ng, Ace.ng and co. They're the ones that actually service their delivery or their logistics business. Does that make sense? So they're the ones that you actually indirectly pay to, but it's a business strategy. It is called bundling, where complementary businesses come together. All right, then they give you just one price because it pays you more to deal with one person than to be going up and down. Does that make sense? Because imagine you buy something on Jumia, then you now have to go and log in on Ace.ng and say delivery so on Jumia, pick it up and bring it. Do you get? For you that's the gloss of a headache. But just talk to Jumia and the other piece is arranged. Does that make sense? For who knows Owambe? What Owambe means? The parties, right? So now if you've noticed, you find photographers, event planners, makeup artists, gele people, and co, and even the caterers, they come together and they form this kind of alliance of some sort, such that once you meet most of the time, the event planner is the focal point. Once you meet an event planner, just tells you that, oh, I'm an event planner for Bella Ninja. Then I have my own makeup artist. So by the time you pay 1 million naira to the event, I'm assuming, right, to the event planner, you've actually covered photography, you've covered food, you've covered, do you understand what I'm saying? So it is a business strategy because it pays you more to do that than to go and be meeting them one by one. Does that make sense? But it doesn't mean that they've actually rendered that service to you. But once they get the revenue, once they get the money from you, it is recognized as revenue. It's accrual accounting principle. The money is recognized immediately as revenue. What now happens is your COGS, because naturally, in a direct trade situation, your COGS, which is cost of goods sold, your cost of goods sold is your core operational cost. The cost that you incur by providing your core services. Does that make sense? So, for example, COGS for an airline is going to be the cost of fuel, all right, the cost of fueling the jet, or the plane. For example, the maintenance cost of the plane and all of that is going to flow into that. In fact, there are some industries where the depreciation cost is also built into their COGS because the machines that they use, all right, are directly used during operations. Does that make sense? So that's what will form their COGS. But the truth is that they've not flown yet. Who was asking me that question? It was you now. They've not flown yet. They've started operations, but they've not started giving service to the public. Does that make sense? So, and I don't know if any of you have started a business before. I mean, you start a business internally, you go and get your approvals, you go and do all of that, you register with CAC and all of that, but it doesn't mean that you are open to the public yet. Does that make sense? But you're already existing. Does that make sense, guys? So you need to break it down to like the most simplest, concept of what it is, right? So once somebody pays for a ticket now today, and for all of you guys that fly, I fly a lot because I just came back from Abuja yesterday. Your tickets are always booked in advance, right? The airline will recognize that revenue, but COGS, nothing, nada, nothing will happen to COGS. But SG&A will be there because they've incurred a cost, right? Somebody must have serviced you. Do you get? Like there must have been somebody's salary must have been being paid for providing that service. They must have printed tickets. But maybe they have a reservation system, a technology reservation system where they pay subscription and all of that, so that that is what allows you to book the flight online and stuff like that. Now, what's the impact of that on their taxes? Somebody said their tax will go up. Who said that? You said it. Yeah. So on their taxes, for example, there are two different kinds of taxes. There's the consumption tax or VAT, and there's the corporate taxes. Their corporate tax will go up as well, but VAT, which is their consumption tax, will not be affected because the service has not been rendered yet. Does that make sense? So, and your VAT is actually a portion of your COGS anyways. Does that make sense? Because you incur VAT from operations. You guys are looking lost. Do you know what VAT is? Value-added tax. Do you know why it is called value-added tax? Yeah. The tax is paid. So the VAT is a consumption type of tax. Economists, can you help me out? What is VAT? VAT is everywhere in the world now. Yes, it's an indirect tax. Yes, it's an indirect tax. So some people call it consumption tax, sales tax, VAT. There are numerous names for it, right? But it's an indirect tax. It means that the business is not the one paying it. It is you, the consumer, that is paying VAT. You know that, right? When you see VAT, it is you that you are enjoying that service. You are the one paying VAT for that service. It is not the business. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Exactly. So if for any reason I decide to go into ShopRite and I bought Bonvita, ShopRite says my Bonvita is 100 naira. However, government said I must collect tax from you on their behalf of 5% on anything you buy. 5% of 100 naira is what? 5 naira. So they now tell you 100 naira, then I put VAT 5 naira, then total 105, right? That 5 naira came out from your pocket, my pocket. Do you get? The business is already fine. They already know that their profit margin is already, is already secure on the 100 naira that they charge. Does that make sense, guys? Right. So, but because they've not rendered the service to you yet, right? In the case of the airline, in the case of ShopRite, they have to pay that 5 naira immediately to government. It's going to be part of their COGS because it's cost of operations to them. Does that make sense? But in the case of the airline, they've not rendered the service yet, right? So it won't affect that portion, and that's why it still doesn't affect their COGS. But for their corporate taxes, which is 30% in Nigeria, I think, accountants, right? It's 30% in Nigeria. It's going to affect it because they've already collected revenue. Now that flows into retained earnings, which flows back into equity section of the balance sheet, and the revenue flows into cash because they received the cash, right? You paid for the flight. Now, what now happens to their balance sheet or to their P&L on the 1st of January 2019? Exactly, it's not affected. But not necessarily. Their COGS will go up for the equivalent value. Their revenue is unaffected for the purpose of that. Revenue, nothing will change. Am I right? Accra accounting. Am I right? Yeah, nothing will happen to revenue. But COGS will go up because now they've incurred the cost. The plane now flew. Does that make sense, guys? So VAT will go up, but there's not going to be any corresponding whatever to what do you call it, to their corporate taxes. SG&A will remain the same. I mean, it's unaffected by it because they will pay those. I mean, it's like SG&A is almost like a fixed income of some sort. You can predict SG&A for years. That's why in financial modeling too, there are some things that you predict. There are some things that for example, this company, let me see if this is what a proper financial model looks like in reality. I prepared this shit like a long time ago. All right, so man, let me zoom in. It's really small. Can you see this? Can you guys see this? Okay, so you can see historical figures, projected figures, right? So usually historical figures are given to you, right? I mean, the company has done this is what they did in 2013, this is what they did in 2014, right? So this model was actually done sometime in 2014. So we're supposed to project, what they're going to do to 2020. Does that make sense? So there's some things that you can project, like you can just do, what has been your previous average, and what has been the average, growth. Then you can now apply that across, the future states, right? So you can say, okay, you grow, if you've been growing 10%, you should grow maybe an extra 10-20% again or something like that on the average going forward onto your terminal year or whatever. Then things like direct costs too, because you know that cost of operations, which is cost of goods sold, your direct cost is directly attached to your revenue. So if your revenue is growing, it makes sense for your direct cost to grow. Does that make sense? Now, but your SG&A doesn't necessarily grow, so your SG&A doesn't necessarily grow accordingly. You know why? Because operational efficiency is not achieved on day one. Does that make sense? Okay, let's say for example, this room is a bookshop, right? And then I'm the CEO of this bookshop. Then I employed one clerk. So this shopkeeper, attends to all my customers. Let's say I have an average of 10 customers a day, right? This shopkeeper is fine. It's possible that even though I increased, my customers by another 100%, meaning now I have 20 customers per day, the shopkeeper can still undo them. Does that make sense? So I don't need to get 2 shopkeepers. Do you guys understand? That's what I'm saying. So your SG&A would relatively still be the same. Even if I'm going to increase it, probably I'll decide to, incentivize this shopkeeper and get like, okay, I'll increase your salary. I will not increase this person's salary by 100%. Do you understand? It won't be an 100% increase. Most likely I'll just say, okay, maybe inflation, I'll just increase my inflation rate to make sure that, okay, what you are still earning last year is what you are earning again this year. You guys have been taught time value of money, right? Right? You don't sound sure. What is time value of money? If I give you 1 naira today, or I promise to give you 2 naira tomorrow, which one will you take? 1 naira today. Why? Exactly, because you don't know what 2 naira, that 2 naira will be maybe less, maybe what 90 kobo tomorrow. Does that make sense? All right. So you cannot particularly say you want to project SG&A. Do you get? Because SG&A is not tied to operations directly. So at the point at which you optimize operations, your SG&A might take a drastic jump. Say for example, after a while of running business, I increase my customers to 30. So I notice that my clerk is not attending to them very well any longer because they're now 30. So it means that I've maxed out that person's ability. All right. So then I now track down when was the last. When was it last efficient? Maybe it was at the point when I had 25 customers. Does that make sense? So I now decide to employ one more person. But that one person, I'll make sure that person is junior, right? Because I need that person to just not to assist, but to just attend to 5 more people. Because there's one person that's already attending 25. Do you get? So I need that person to just attend to 5 more people. So what do? I employ someone junior. Then I make the person look like, okay, if you work hard, we'll get more customers. They'll be able to pay you better. Right? This is reality, right? Does that make sense? So what happens is, then I now begin to try to expand my sales to make sure that, okay, I get extra 20 people so that by the time it's now 50, I can be sure that 2 people can attend to them effectively. Does that make sense? So you can't project SG&A. You can't just say that, oh, the SG&A have been growing for an average of 10%. So let's just apply 10% again. So, how about this spoil this? Is it working? Okay. So you can't just apply 10% again into the future. That would be a very big error. So these are things I need you guys to be, mentally taking note of. Because it will come up your interview. Okay, what skills have you, have you acquired over time? They go like, yeah, financial modeling skills. And okay, tell me about financial modeling. Then you say, yeah, blah, blah, blah. There's an abstraction from reality. Okay, so I want to project my SG&A. And the company SG&A has been growing for an average of 15% year on year. I mean, what would you advise? You're like, yeah, since I've been growing for 15%, just apply a 15% average and the thing just goes boom. Right? Then the guy looks at you like, investment banker. It's a trick question, actually. It is a trick question. You could literally get that question. If you are an HR or outsourcing business, all right, you know that your salary will be huge because your job is to recruit people. Do you get? So your salary portion will be huge, but modern accounting techniques does not even allow you to put your salary because you're an HR business. Your business is recruitment. So modern accounting principles does not allow you to even put your salaries in SG&A. The salaries that you put in SG&A are the people that are non-core operational people. Say your cleaner, your manager, and all that. But the HR salaries will still go to COGS. Another example is technology. I work in technology, for example. So, and I'm a business manager for revenue assurance and collections. So I see my books every month. I have an accountant. He sends my books to me every month, right? So I see what happens, right? So for example, my salary as a business manager goes to SG&A. Salary of my business analyst and all of that, it goes to SG&A. But my developers, the guys that are writing the codes, their salary is not SG&A. Because the operations of the business is technology. Does that make sense? The operations of the business is what the business does is to create technology products. And technology is not tangible. Humans are the ones that operate, that write those codes out. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, are you sleeping? But you're dozing. You can take a walk. So, now, humans are the ones that write this code. So their salary of the technology team, developers and co, the salary goes into COGS. because it's operational for us, for a technology business. Does that make sense? So the point at which somebody throws that kind of question to you and says, in fact, when it goes like, my salary has been increasing for an average of 15% year on year, they go like, okay, what kind of business are you? So your salary, I mean, is there a portion of your salary that is tied to core operations? Say, for example, you're a tech business, although you're an outsourcing firm, whereby you incur a lot of salary cost because you've outsourced a lot of your people. Because that's the business you do. Does that make sense, guys? So those are the simple things that you're supposed to look out for as analysts. You can't just project SG&A. You know, we get on this thing for a long time because you will actually get questions from this. You will definitely get questions from this when you talk about financial modeling in an interview. Like, so how do I project my SG&A? What do I do? Then you can now distill the SG&A further. Things like telephone costs. So telephone cost and internet, for example, if let's say the internet subscription in this for this room is 20,000, it will change 10 years from now, except they change price. And even they change price, most likely the price will come down, not up. Do you understand? Vending machine, vend. Huh? That's why it's called quadrupled. Yeah, there's a reason for that. Because they're supposed to open numerous shops. Yeah, so they're supposed to open numerous stores. And they're going to put internet in those stores as well. Of what? Of the SG&A. So the reason why they did this model was that they're trying to attract investment. Now, they needed to put that investment to work. And their plan was an aggressive growth. All right, in reality, it is a clothes making business. So they are trying to bring China to Nigeria, more or less, because most of the clothes we wear are printed in China, right? So what they want to do is that they want to bring clothes factories back into Nigeria. Then they now sell. So they want to have like an end-to-end control of the supply chain. They are going to be the clothes manufacturers. All right, that is the printing and all of that. Then they also be the sellers. So they want to open stores in different parts of Nigeria where they'll be selling their clothes. So, I mean, of course, when you open more stores, your rents will go up. Salaries will go up because you're going to employ more people. Diesel and all of that will go up because you're going to put generators in all of these stores, you know. So that's why it looked like their stuff was, you know, really going up. But if you compare the growth of their SG&A to operations, it's not directly proportional. Does that make sense? It's not directly proportional. Huh? Yeah. You have to itemize every line item, yes. Anything that's regarding SG&A, you're going to analyze everything, like one by one. Yeah. So, for the airline business, right? For the airline business, what happens is, by January, nothing happens to their P&L. Nothing happens to their P&L, except that COGS goes up. But their balance sheet, something happens. What happens to their balance sheet? What happens to their balance sheet now? You know that cash went up when they collected money. Then account payables too went up. So now what happens to their balance sheet?
I think cost is better, right? It's definitely reduce their profit. They retain earnings to be affected by the result.
Yes. Retain earnings to be affected by the result, then what will now balance out that retain earnings reduction? Yes, payables. So payables will go down, retain earnings too will go down. And that balances out the effect. Does that make sense, guys? What happens to the statement of cash flow? The same. Nothing happens. Nothing happens to the statement of cash flow. As at January 1, nothing will happen to the statement of cash flow. Because income is not affected. Does that make sense, guys? So, now, in the case of a business that provides service first before income is received, a classic example are the e-commerce businesses in Nigeria that they allow you to pay on delivery. Right? I mean, the day you make the order, according to accrual accounting, income is recognized when invoice is raised, right? Right? What's your name? Emeka. So, according to your accrual accounting, income is recognized when invoice is raised. When invoice is raised, is that when income is recognized? Or so the day you click buy that jeans on Jumia gives you an invoice. It tells that it costs 15,000 naira. Yes or no? Then they go like confirm if you want to make purchase. Then you confirm. Then you follow up with a call. The reason why they are doing that is because there are a lot of operational dependencies. For example, what if they get to you and you don't pay, right? And of course, there are books that reported that they've sold. So what will now happen? They're going to doctor the books. Huh? Less what? Return inwards. What does that mean? By customers. It's called return inwards. Okay. So it says that there's a return inwards book that if you don't, if you return a good, they give back. So in reality, most businesses don't actually allow you to get cash back, because if you shop in, maybe say the UK or the US, when you buy something, if you want to return it, they exchange it for you. They don't give you money. A few of them do cash back. A few will do cash back. Actually, they do cash back. But most of the time, what you find is that, you said? Yeah, many people operate a non-refund policy. So what they do is that they allow you pick a new one, or you pick something else of equal value. And even if you pick something of equal value or more value, what they say is, okay, top it up with extra cash, right? If you pick something of less value, you pick until you max out. Yeah. So some of them can give you, say, what they call, many of them have loyalty cards. I think Spa is doing it right now. So instead of them giving you cash, they'll just credit your loyalty card so that you can use them sometime in the future. It's their way of retaining your money in their business. It's a business strategy as well. Does that make sense? So what happens is, what Jumia has done on their books is that they recognize your revenue that day that you place the order. After they've called you, because they have their own operational process of confirming the order, right? You click, order, you put in your cart, or what's that thing called? Then when you bring it, then you now check out. Once you check out, they don't even follow up with a phone call, and they go like, oh, you just placed an order for 5,000 naira worth of jeans or something like that. Can you please confirm? Then you say yes. All right. Then they recognize your revenue. So what happens to their P&L that day? Delivery is not done until after 2 weeks. So what happens, guys? You said revenue goes up. Okay. What else? What else happens? What happens? What happens now, guys? What happens to their financials? Sorry. Revenue goes up. What else? Huh? Who wants to try? Who wants to try? COGS will go up. Yeah, COGS will go up too. What else? COGS will go up because, they incur inventory cost. So the moment you buy, it's going to be part of their COGS, right? So, okay, what else? Emeka, what happens? What happens? You don't know what happens? What's distracting you? You are distracted. Yeah. What happens? What happens to your chief? You can't be distracted. So what happens to other financials? Like their balance sheet. Exactly. Trade payable will go up. I'm sorry, account receivable rather will go up, right? Account receivable will go up now. Is account receivable an asset or a liability? It's an asset. So What counterbalances that? Huh? Inventory. Inventory will do what? Inventory will reduce. Yes. What else happens? What else? Huh? Cash flow. What happens on the cash flow? Speaking of cash flow, what happens? Cash from operations. What happens to cash from operations? Huh? Cash from operating activities. If you can't increase now, have they collected money? They've not collected money now. Yeah, then it will be unchanged. Nothing will happen. Is that going to happen? Cash from operating expenses. From operating expenses. After effect of net income, of course. But net income as what do you call it? Is that?
Net income will
But the increase in net income when you are doing cash flow for operating expenses, you take care of what do you call it? Current assets. So it means that your what do you call it? Your account receivable is true, but have negated the effect of your net income, meaning that nothing will happen to your cash from operating expenses, right? So guys, anybody want to say something? So, what we're saying is, these guys, junior, they recognize revenue, but they not collected cash. So what we agreed was income will increase on their P&L, COGS will go up on their P&L, every other thing will be impacted as well, taxes and all of that, net income. The net income is going to be impacted on the equity side as retained earnings, right? Then accounts receivable would also go up to counterbalance what do you call it? Then inventory will go down, right? Then on the cash flow statement, net income will go up, right? But the change in operating working capital, which is inventory, receivables, you know, it's right here. Have you guys done this yet? So they taught you how to calculate changes in operating working capital. Huh? Operating working capital. Wait, guys, you don't know operating working. Is that? Operating working capital, OWC. Did they share any material with you? Midnight manual on it's there now. Operating working capital. This is it here now. Inventory, receivable, payments, payables, and all of that. You guys are looking at me like you've not heard it before. You don't know what operating working capital is, yeah? What is working capital? Huh? Yeah, current assets minus current liability. What is now operating working capital?
Is that working capital that has to do with the core function of the business?
Exactly.
That's minus cash and debt.
Simple. That's simple. It's not hard. I don't like the way you guys are looking at. Oh, thank you. I don't like the way you guys are looking at me like maybe I'm conjuring this thing up. So your changes in operating working capital will net out the effect of the net income. Because yes, you know money has not been received, right? Cash has not been received. And your statement of cash flow, what it tells you is your cash position. How much is in your account as of today? Not revenue. Revenue does not equal to cash. Does that make sense? For example, I work in a B2B firm, all right? Or should I say B2B? So most of my business clients, not like most, all my clients are government businesses or government agencies. I have Lagos State government, I have the federal government, I have FRS in federal government, I have the office of the vice president, in federal government. I have Ministry of Health, federal government. I have Ministry of Finance in my portfolio, federal government. Huh? Business government, G means government. So now the usual trend in B2G businesses is that you will have revenue, but you won't have cash. That is the usual trend in B2G businesses. You will have huge revenue because government contracts are very lucrative. If you collect one contract like this, almost you are made. I'm not joking. One of the, I have a project with Lagos State government that right now, that project is just a 6 weeks project, 6 weeks. And it's costing them 36 million naira for just 6 weeks. Do you get? Now, I have another contract with Lagos State government that will fetch close to 800 to 900 million every year, year on year. All things being equal. Right? I have a contract with the federal government, Ministry of Finance, in we call it LPA, and well, it's a joint contract with Ministry of Health and Ministry of Finance. And that contract will take will fetch like 250 to 350 million on an annual basis every year. But you see what I'm telling you, it is numbers, paper, it is revenue. Do you get? It is. I don't have the money in my account. Do you understand? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So a lot of B2G businesses, they have huge revenue. When you go and look at the balance sheet, you now notice that or more. The revenue is as big as their receivables. They are usually as big as their revenue. In fact, sometimes we even write off some debts. If it's taking 2-3 years, the government has not paid. Because the new government comes to the place, they'll now be like, yes, I'm auditing the old government. And we don't believe any of their contracts. So you could be there 3 years, you've not collected your money. But you've worked. You get? These are the risks of B2G businesses. So revenue and cash are two different things. Do you get? And your statement of cash flow tells you your cash position. How much do you have in your account right now? Does that make sense? Exactly. So because cash has not come in, all right, but your net income has gone up. So you need to negate the effect of your net income that has gone up by your operating working capital. Does that make sense? So your operating working capital will negate the effect of your net income. So there's no change. There's no net overall change in cash from operating activity. Does that make sense? Now, when they now bring the goods to the house, you now pay them. What happens to your P&L? Nothing happens to the P&L. Nothing. Nothing happens. What happens to the balance sheet? The money will go down, yes. What else? Cash will go up, exactly. We should negate each other. If the revenue goes down, then the negative factor is cash will go up. Now, another thing to bear in mind as analysts is that on the balance sheet, if something happens on one side, something must negate it. That's why it's called a balance sheet. If something increases somewhere on the balance sheet, something else will reduce somewhere. So if assets goes up, most likely, what do you call it? Equity should either go up or come down, whereas liability will do what? Either go up or come down to reflect that change. Asset plus what? Liability plus equity. So if asset goes up, liability and equity, one of them must have go up or come down to reflect the corresponding change. Does that make sense?
But there are times like asset can offset each other, right? Like
Yeah. It's possible. There's sometimes, yes, like Lenny said, sometimes assets can offset each other. Sometimes it happens that way. And nothing will happen to liability and equity. Are you an accountant? How do you not know account?
just like that.
Are you sure?
It's like syllables and they are all
Yeah, they all have to. Are you an engineer? Yeah, finance. One of finance. Finance. What school? So there's a finance course in University of Lagos. Banking finance.
Just finance. Yeah. Why did I go to England? I'm not wasting time with this. Why did you people? Oh, how was I wasting time with you? Alright, so yeah. So for anything that happens on the balance sheet, there's a corresponding, negation of that activity on that same balance sheet. Alright? So we need to always bear that in mind. But when you get questions like what happens if this happens and that. So another type of model is called the DCF model. Discounted cash flow. We don't know what DCF is. You know what DCF is? Discounted cash flow. It's used to arrive at what? The valuation of a business. The value of a business. Right? So you can build a DCF model. I think a DCF model in this is the DCF model in this business. You know what? The first one, the first model I told you about was the three-statement model. Three-statement model. You guys should bear it in mind. You can do a lot more research, like go on YouTube and just Google three-statement models. You see a lot of videos, alright, about three-statement models, short courses on three-statement models. Have you ever heard of Udemy? Udemy.com. Yeah, you find a lot of courses. They have free courses of financial modeling. Let's go to Udemy and go and check free courses. They have loads of free courses of financial modeling. Alright? Our internet is not up, I will show you. So basically, this is a DCF model. Now it looks very simple, but the inputs to this model is extremely complex. But this is what it is generally. Startup cost. Do you guys understand what startup cost means? Startup cost. You are saying it. Okay, what's startup cost? Exactly. The capital you use to start the business is called the startup cost. Alright? So you start from the startup cost. When you want to do a DCF model, you start with the startup cost. Then the next thing is your cash flow from operating activities. Alright? Now you need to remember that DCF is a discounted cash flow. So it is about cash. It's not about revenue. Because revenue can be distorted. Do you get? For example, if you are in the airline business and they're just talking about your revenue, because your revenue equals cash most of the time, because you must have collected the money beforehand, it's very good for you. But if you're in the B2G business where revenue will not come in 2 years, do you understand? You cannot operate based on that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's a risk factor. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So, the next thing is they're going to do cash from operating activities, then cash from investing activities. You guys understand the concept of investing activities? What are investment activities? Property, plant, and equipment. Most of the time, research. Alright? If you invest in research to optimize your operations, do you get? Have you guys heard of this business before? IKEA. I've heard of them before. If you've not heard of them, go and Google them. It's a furniture business, but they are known all over the world. They are the biggest player in the furniture business over the world. And it's a Swedish company, right? It's owned by a Swedish man, and that business has been like over 50, 60 years old. But they are the biggest person in the furniture market today. Now, what they do is that they find ways to reduce their price year on year. And even though they are reducing their price every year, they make more money than all their competitors combined. How do they achieve that? Because they find innovative ways to reduce the cost of production. All right, so they don't reduce the quality, but their cost of production, they find ways to reduce them. Now, to reduce your cost of production, you must have invested in research, R&D. So your R&D cost, most of the time, is part of your investment activities, your investing activity, because you are trying to use that to improve your business operationally. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Then you now get your free cash flow. Then you calculate your terminal value. You know what the terminal value is? Do you guys know what the terminal value is? Terminal value. Have you ever been taught terminal value? Terminal value. You don't know. You don't remember. Terminal value. This is a very, very important piece of modeling, especially a DCF model or valuation. You know why? Because what we are trying to achieve is that we want to understand the growth of that business. All right? But the truth is that we cannot tell how long the business is going to last. Right? Now, there's a fundamental principle. The nearer you see, the clearer it is, isn't it? So that is nearer to me, I can see it more clearly than that is farther. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So it means that I can tell you, right, what you can become in 2 years' time. Like if I say, if you continue on this pattern, you most likely become an engineer in 2 years. Then it means that I can have a clear period of 2 years than a period of 5 years. Does that make sense? Then it means that I can have a better picture of 5 years than a picture of 10 years. Same way I can have a better picture of 10 years than a picture of 100 years. Does that make sense? That. So what this means is that you need to at some point, take care of perpetuity. You know what when you say something is perpetual? You guys do probability sets and sort of that. The assumption basically nobody starts a business today for that business to just live 1 year and die. Right? Most likely you start a business so that it can live forever. A lot of us want to start business that will live 150, 250, 300 years old. You guys know the oldest company in the world? The oldest company in the world. The oldest company in the world. Yeah. It's a coffee business. Sam did a documentary on it recently. I was chance to see it as well. Like I knew them before. It's a coffee business in London. They are tagged as the oldest company in the world. They are like 300 or 400 years old or something like that. Their name, so they didn't change their name. A lot of companies are old, but they must have changed their name over time. This was the name they've been since generations, is the name that they still have to today. Alright, it's a tea business. They started as a tea business and they moved into coffee, and now they're still a coffee business, but they retained that name. Alright, it's the oldest business in the world. CNN did a documentary on them recently. I saw it on CNN. So basically, we want to build brands like that. For example, Quaker Oats. Well, Quaker Oats, right? Quaker Oats is very old, like really, really old. Like pick me. As in, I met pick me. Like, I'm sure my children will meet pick me. Do you get? What brand again? Cadbury. Cadbury is a very old brand. Very, very old. Okay? So, eventually, most people want to build businesses that will last really long, that will outlive them. Alright? So, you have to take care of perpetuity, but you can't see really far into the future. Do you understand that? So ceteris paribus, right? So we take a time in future. The usual practice is 10 years. Usual practice is 10 years. For a stable business, it's 10 years. For startups, they usually target their next exit. Do you understand what I'm saying? Usual practice for stable businesses is 10 years. Like for example, a stable business is a business that is stable. The revenue growth has been they've been averaging out on revenue over time. Average now, we don't know the average, but they have a consistent average of what the revenue looks like. When you guys are looking so lost, you are guessing it. You can't hear me. I'm going. This is a very bad one. Okay. Are you going down now, Abi? Erika, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. So now here's the thing. We can't see into the future in perpetuity. So what scientists do, or financial analysts, do, you can't hear me anymore. Sorry, this year. So free cash flow, like I said, terminal value, that's where we are. Terminal value is a function of your growth into perpetuity, right? But the truth is that we can't tell what's going to happen 100 years from now. So it doesn't make sense, all right, that you begin to project into 100 years from now. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense to project 100 years from now because you really can't tell what's going to happen 100 years. You can't tell if a business will last that long, all right? But you can tell if the business will last 2 years. You can tell it's going to last 5. You can tell it's going to last 10. Does that make sense, guys? So what happens is, for stable businesses, right, the industry standard is to use between 5 to 10 years as terminal year. Then everything else is now factored at a constant rate into infinity. Does that make sense? So for stable business, and how do you do a stable business? A stable business is a business that's been recording, like a stable growth rate year on year. So if, for example, you pick up a business and you say, oh, this business has been operational for 10 years. However, in the past 6 years, they've been averaging between 14 to 21% growth rate, right? So you can say, okay, this business is probably stable. They should be able to continue at this rate for the next 10 years. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? But for startups, right, you target their next exit. What is an exit for startup? Huh? Sit now, let everybody hear. Yeah, so exit could mean an acquisition for a startup, and it could also mean another round of funding. Okay? So startups have different rounds of funding. You guys are looking lost, like you've not heard this thing before. How do you think startups fund themselves? So your initial funding is called seed funding. That's the initial funding. It's usually in the form of grants or angel investors and stuff like that. You didn't know that? Seed funding. That's your first round of funding, right? Then eventually you now do these Series A funding, Series B funding, Series C funding. Then you now go into more mature stuff like me getting a proper PE firm. Because most of your Series A to C is handled by a VC firm. Do you guys understand the difference between VCs and PEs? What is a VC firm? What is a PE firm? Okay. So, the difference is clear now. One is a venture capital firm, meaning they look at early growth businesses and they exit in 2-3 years. PE firms, on the other hand, they do what we call leverage buyouts most of the time, right? They look for ways to finance your funding, through debt. Then with the potential, sorry, with the thinking that they're going to get a very huge upside later on, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years later. Do you get? So funding, venture capital funding is usually like between a year to 2 years, depending on the industry you are in. For tech business, it's even faster than that. Tech businesses do like maybe 6 months, they are already raising another round of funding. In that 6 months again, they are raising another round of funding. Because tech businesses blow cash very fast. They burn through cash very fast. In fact, there are some valuation methods that allow you to value them based on how much cash they are burning for tech businesses. Because, for example, Twitter became profitable when? 2016. That's when they began to report profits. Do you know how long Twitter has been? Yeah, they've been doing a lot of research and all of that, but the honest truth is that they are very profitable, or they're a very viable business from an investment point of view, but they are not necessarily making profit. Does that make sense? And they still went on to do IPO, even though they were not making profit. Sure you get. So funding that, I think you guys should try and read through this, because the honest truth is that as investment banking analyst, your chances are not limited to investment banks. You could work in a PE firm. Some of you will end up in VC firms. As a matter of fact, you may be too young in the career to know what really interests you. That's the honest truth. You may be too young. If you work in an investment bank that has PE practice, like if you work in Goldman, for example, Goldman has PE. I don't think they touch VC at all, but they have PE practice, they do underwriting and all of that. I mean, maybe you are lucky to work in their PE team or something like that. But if you don't get into Goldman and you work PE, you can actually apply to PE firms. There are a lot of PE firms in Nigeria too that you can apply to. And in fact, PE firms even pay better than investment banking firms in Nigeria. That's the honest truth. In this Nigeria that we're in, this same one that worries our president, the PE firms in Nigeria, they pay better on the average than investment banks. And you can tell why. The reason is because the investment banking environment in Nigeria is not that mature. There are no deals. When was the last IPO you heard about? MTN has not IPO'd yet now. They're just in the process of doing it. So when was the last IPO? The real IPO that happened in Nigeria? Where was it? Medview. In fact, they just said Nigeria's question. They didn't a real IPO. Imagine. So let's even take that as a valid IPO. I mean, one IPO in 2 years. Imagine what that looks like. Do you get? Imagine what that looks like. Have you guys heard about dealbook.com? Dealbook. How you heard about this? You've not heard about this? You guys just started though. Dealbook.com should be your Bible. As an IBD analyst, this should be your Bible, more or less. Like you wake up in the morning, the first you check is dealbook.com, because all deals globally, not all deals, like relevant deals. I mean, they will not be covering deals in Nigeria, trust me. But I mean, the relevant deals, right, is listed there by their categories. You know, there are different types of deals. There are M&A deals. What's that M&A? Exactly. There are financing deals. What financing deals are? When you refinance your like maybe a debt or something, or you're trying to raise a debt instrument. Like you want to what do you call it? You want to issue a bond. Or what? Commercial paper, yes. Is another word for bond. Then there are PE LBOs, leverage buyouts, deals on Dealbook. There are different funding. Just check. I mean, you have times on your phone, Abi. So just from today, just that's your bookmark of Linda Ikeji. Just put dealbook.com there. I'm not joking. That's your bookmark that you put in lindaikeji.com. Just change to dealbook.com. I mean, that's the best bet. You want to get deals every day. In fact, they give daily updates on all their deals. Daily. So I'm sure that maybe the first time you read it might look too abstract because they are probably in the middle of a deal already. It's most likely not a new deal that you are reading about. So it might be a bit hard for you to start, starting from from the get-go, maybe, because most of the time, this do start maybe 2, 3, 4 months ago, okay? So, but don't worry, just start. Trust me, a week down the line, you get to a point where you don't even have to read the whole paragraph to understand what is going on. That's exactly what I do now with news. I have CNN, I have Bloomberg, I have Business Insider. I get pop-ups. As soon as I read the news summary, I already know what's going on. I don't have to know details. Like Trump now said this to Putin. Putin now said. I mean, once you see Trump sided with Putin over American Intel. I mean, what else am I reading? Like really. But maybe when you start out, you might have to read, the details. And again, for analysts, you really have to read the details actually, because those are the kind of things that will come up in interviews. Trust me, the person that's interviewing you doesn't even know what you know. Like for example, I've asked you questions in this class that I was telling you that I'm just knowing, and I'm intentionally letting you know that I didn't know, because a lot of you guys, and it's not your fault. It's not all of us our fault. The way we were brought up, all right, especially if you are from the southwest, where when people ask you questions, you must always know the answer. All of that. Do you get? The person that's asking you to possibly does not even know. Do you get? So do not feel any form of lack of confidence to not answer. And if you don't know, just say that I don't know. Because it's something that the person asking you doesn't know. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? So don't be under pressure to always give answers. If you don't know, there's nothing wrong in saying I don't know in interviews. There's absolutely nothing wrong. It's in fact, it pays you more to say you don't know than to go and say stupid things. Trust me, I've been in interviews where the person will just keep, but you don't know, Joe. You get? Because even if you don't know, I'm dumb enough. I'm not dumb enough to not know that you are saying rubbish, right? Because I can tell. I mean, this thing is not gelling now. Do you get? So that's how it works, right? So, so deal book, they give you all the deal breakdowns. I can see somebody already reading deal book inside class. Or you are reading Facebook. Which one is it? Well, I assume it's deal book. To the deal book, okay. Deal book side, okay. It better be deal book. Or is it thing that it looks like you're swiping? Okay. Right, his finger was doing like this. Alright. So terminal value is your value into perpetuity. So for startups, you pick up their next exit, maybe their next funding round. And usually they do. Because from a strategic point of view, I mean, if you are the CEO of a startup business, you know that, okay, I need to raise $10 million. Now, this $10 million will last me for the next six months. Because you already have things you want to spend it on. People don't raise money because they just feel like raising it. They raise money to actually satisfy a business need. All right, maybe you want to expand aggressively into the market. And that's what you find most of the time with tech businesses. Because tech businesses are very easy to replicate. The barrier to entry is very low. Have you guys heard about Market Porter? You guys have heard about him. You can just Google him on Wikipedia. You don't have to go and read his book and the five forces of You don't really have to read the book, but you can just Google it. Wikipedia will give you a very good summary of who he is. He's a professor of some sort. I think Harvard Business School or something like that. So, business environment, I'm sure your barrier to entry is very critical. I think people that study economics, they must have taught you barriers to entry. It's very critical that, I mean, when you check a business environment, you should say, okay, is the barrier to entry really easy? Is it very hard? Like, for example, if you want to start a bank in Nigeria, the barrier to entry is extremely hard. First of all, you need to have a minimum capitalization of how much? 25 billion naira. Minimum capitalization. As in, you put cash inside central bank and not touch it. That's what capitalization means. Do you guys understand what that means? Like you put 25 billion naira in cash, you put it inside central bank, and you're not going to touch it. You can't touch it. You can't do anything with it. Do you know what that means? To just pile money down that's not doing anything. Do you guys understand what that means? From a financial point of view, it is scary. Like it's extremely scary. That's why, don't worry, with time, you people will say, when you become investment bankers, you don't want to save anymore. You're like, what am I saving for? Because it's scary. You just put money somewhere. You're saying you have colo, you're not putting money there. Like really? Because if you compare the rate of depreciation and all of that, like this 10 naira that you put that you have timed down, next year is worth less than that. Why don't I do something with 10 naira now that we bought 10 naira, than wait till next year and say that I'm saving for the rainy day, then I'll come and use it for something that's less it's worth. Do you understand what I mean? Do you understand what I mean? Save, don't follow bad examples. But what I'm trying to say is, barrier to entry into banking is really high. Minimum 25 billion naira. If you don't have 25 billion, fuck off. Sorry, edit that. Right? Just go away. Does that make sense? Now, but on the other hand, if you want to start a tech business today, all you need to do is get a developer. Fintech. Well, people say that they're not eroding banks. No, they're not. Anybody that says that is anybody that is not, that person has very shallow understanding of the banking sector. Because fintechs cannot even operate without the banks. In fact, they've taken out a lot of the cost of the banks. But that's a different conversation. Now, here's the thing. To start a tech business, all you need is just get a developer. If you get any guy that can program Python, you are good to go. I'm telling you. With all of you in this room, with your understanding of business and financial management, you can start a business now. Get a guy that understands Python and be like, okay, let us start a tech business, technology that can help people to balance their, accounting guys. Let's start this, you just input something and it balances your balance sheet and all of that, and then you pay your taxes at FRS, you automate the process of receiving your tax clearance, blah, 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 blah. I mean, then, bam, you start a business. What do you call it? Tax pay. Yeah, that's it. We start a business, right? We start a business. Emeka, we are here. We are in this together. All four of us. We are starting this business now. Yeah, we started the business already. I don't know about you guys. Look, 4 co-founders. Right here, this class. Right here, right now. Tax pay. We started next minute, we just go and, now, probably we got a developer guy or 2 guys that are working from inside our garage. That's how it starts now. From inside our sitting room. We do have garage in Nigeria. Our sitting room, right? So I have a house. So the person will be doing my house. They'll be typing, they'll be coding. Then this person is working for free. But we promise them equity, right? Like, okay, guys, don't worry, you own 5% of the business. So the guy keeps working. There are no points. We need a go-to market strategy. Because now you now have an MVP. An MVP is called minimum viable product, or sometimes called POC, proof of concept. You have an MVP now, all right? You tested it and it has been working. So now you need to go into market. So the first thing that comes to your mind is what? You need to scale, like really fast. Because you see, the moment you step into market today, I say that, pam, tax pay. You just do that. Those OU boys, where are they? OU boys, identify yourselves. I don't trust them. All these OU boys, I don't trust them. You know you hear tax pay like this, bam. And you know they have a lot of developers in OU. Trust me. I can categorically tell you that close to 40% of developers in Nigeria, most of them, they are really from OU. Like close to 40% of developers, like well-meaning developers in Nigeria. I don't know how the school is doing it. They churn out developers like this. And I'm not saying it because I'm from OU. I'm in the tech space, so I know. Like developers like this. And that school that is really doing well is this school in Kaduna. They are fantastic. The developers are like, So now, all boys, I'm sure this guy, this guy, I don't trust him. This guy with face cap, I don't trust him. What's your name again? Taiwo. I don't trust this Taiwo guy. Let's be on record. We are recording this. I don't trust Taiwo from OAU. I know that he has one friend in school that knows how to develop. That's a developer. That guy. He's supporting you too. I don't trust of them. Now, go away. We don't share our business idea with them. Now, you see what these guys will do is that they're not going to start taxpay.ng. You know their own is taxpay.com. They're not going to start taxpay.ng. Alright? Same thing. Copy and paste. But you see, because Taiwo has one uncle like that, that's contesting for governor. So the guy has more like some 5 million naira that he's not using. You get? You know that some people just have money that they're not using. It's just there. So Taiwo has this uncle that wants to do a record deal with government in Osun State. Alright? The guy has 5 million naira that he's not using. So Taiwo was like, uncle, give me this money now. Of which we that have done a lot of work, that we are Lagos boys, we are still struggling, we are still hustling. We are going from pillar to post. Then nobody use Taiwo 5 million. And Taiwo just start Instagram adverts. sponsored ad on Instagram. Next minute, that was popular. But he copied our idea, right? We are still beefing him. And we beef him.
Sorry. So how do you think about seed funding?
Seed funding. Well, there are a lot of seed funding organizations in Nigeria.
You just got to pitch to them.
Yeah, just can pitch them. And a lot of them are very open to hearing your view. Huh?
You take anything from the business.
Oh. Seed funding, naturally, seed funding don't take equity from business. In fact, most of them just don't give you grants.
How do you know?
They don't profit. It's not for profit. They give you grants. You don't have to pay them for anything. They give you grants. As long as they are sure that you are not just collecting money. Because many of them, even though they give you money, they still also stay on your operations. Try to see that, okay, you are using money for the right things. So they won't put money in your account. But for example, if for example you say, okay, let's say for example, you start a business, taxpay.ng. Now, taxpay.ng is a software. But that software has to sit on an infrastructure. So cloud space, security, access, maintenance, all of those things, they cost money. So you want to use maybe AWS, Amazon AWS. Then Amazon AWS costs a lot of money too. So you now go and meet your seed funding agency and say, please, I need money. I'm a startup. I have this very good product. And they're like, okay, let's help you. All right. So instead of them paying into your account, they pay Amazon for you. Do you get? So they don't literally drop money in your account like that.
Do you know if we agree to sponsor an idea or you have to have started?
Many of them have different qualification criteria. So you would have seen it on their website. They will tell you that, okay, if you have an idea, bring it. Some of them will tell you that. But hardly does anybody do that. At idea level, most likely they will not even look at you. Because, I mean, you don't need money to start an idea. Let's get that right. Because we all have this mentality that, oh, you need money. You don't need money to start an idea. There's something called lean startups. There's a book on it. I'm not saying that you guys are financial analysts, so they don't start teaching entrepreneurship. But you can start that on your own. So the terminal value here was at 2020, and that's because the company was planning a big exit at 2020. There was a PE firm that was supposed to invest in them at 2015, and that PE firm was opening to exit at 2020, and that's why 2020 was chosen in this model. You guys understand how to calculate terminal value, right? There's a formula now. Me and manual from evaluation, you see terminal value calculation there. You guys know the value. Go and check it. So when you now get a free cash flow plus terminal value, that gives you the total free cash flows. Does that make sense? Now you now need to go and get your discount factor. That discount factor, a lot of things goes into it. That's why I said this model looks very simple, but a lot of things go into this model. All right, so discount factor, inflation goes into it, because inflation is a discount factor, right? Then sometimes you could also put some risk factors into it as well. Then you now discount, and get your present value of this amount. By the time you net it off, you get your net present value. So the net present value of this company, by 2020, the net present value is supposed to be 4.4 billion naira. Does that make sense? Because this is a million. Can you see million naira? This is a million. This is 4,448 million. So that's definitely 4.4 billion. Right? And then the internal rate of return is about 192%. So that tells you that the business has really strong growth potentials. 192 is like huge. But it's not unprecedented, especially in third world countries. Because the opportunities in third world countries are amazingly huge. Do you understand? Because there are a lot of people, there are a lot of opportunities, but there are not a lot of businesses that are satisfying those opportunities. Do you understand? So that's why many people just look like, okay, aggressive marketing, all right? So that's an example of a DCF model. Another type of model is an LBO. You guys know what an LBO is? Leverage buyout, yes. Leverage buyout. So leverage buyout models, there's none here. I have one here. But basically it follows the same principles of leverage buyout. What are leverage buyouts? The word leverage means what? Debt, exactly. So like I said, financial people, you guys try to sound smart and stuff like that. It's just simple. Leverage buyouts is you buy something using what? Simple. Alright. But then before you can buy something using debt, you need to be able to understand the credit load that that business can take. Like, okay, how much credit can we, push into the business? All right, because there's the healthy amount of credit that you should have. Did they teach you that when they were teaching financial statements? Accountants, you guys know now. There's a healthy amount of credit or of liability you should have. It's only in Nigeria you see businesses that all they have is equity and assets. They don't have any liability. Like, I don't borrow money from anybody. I don't borrow money from anybody. I run my business with my own money, my hard-earned cash. It's only in Nigeria you find things like that, and it's very wrong. You're not supposed to run totally on equity. There are a lot of, you guys can also research if you want to, like, does it even make sense to totally run your business on equity? Or does it totally make sense to run it on cash or on credit? As a matter of fact, there's something they call cost of equity. You guys have heard cost of funds, right? Did you cost of funds? Cost of funds is what? The cost of financing your business. That's cost of funds. Now, you either finance your business through equity or liability or debt, right? So now, cost of equity is always more expensive than cost of debt. That's the truth. Cost of equity is always is amazingly expensive. You'll be shocked. So when you go like, yeah, it's my own business money, I don't look at anybody's face. I do my own thing. I'm a self-made man. All right? It's only in Nigeria you things like that. Wait, are there Ghanaians on this? Are there Ghanaians on this? Can't be abusing us. Okay, so yeah. Are you sure it's Ghanaians? Yeah. So yeah. Generally speaking, it's only in Nigeria you find scenarios like that, but those scenarios are not even correct from a financial intelligence standpoint. All right. When you run your business through debt, is a sign that you're actually much more sure of the outcome of the business than when you run your business through equity. And that's why you see when companies decide to issue bonds, their equity just keeps rising. Because people are like, oh my God, if these people are trying, they don't want to collect money from us. They want to go and be using debt. Because, debt has definite time of exit. I collect money from you, borrow money for 3 months. In 3 months' time, you're out of my business. Shikena, go. But equity is perpetual. Till infinity. They'll still keep collecting money from you. Do you get? So when you are going after debt, people that understand finance, they start running after you. Then your stock begins to rise. Like, oh my God, these people, the fact that they are using debt to finance this thing, most likely, you get what I'm trying to say? So let me buy out. Model exists. I don't have an example of it to show you, but you can, to be honest, you can just research this on YouTube, and then there's an IPO model. IPO model, some people call it price model as well. Yeah? IPO or pricing. IPO, initial pricing. What's that thing called? I was about to just. You guys are really sharp. I wanted to just confuse you a little bit. Alright, so initial public offering, there's a model, but sometimes some people call it pricing model. Because what you are really trying to achieve in an IPO model is to know the price per share, to arrive at a price per share. Like, how much are you going to sell one unit of your share? That's what you are trying to achieve when you're doing an IPO model. All right. So sometimes, and a lot of times, many of these models are intertwined. Like, you have to do 3 statements model first. Then you see how it flows into your DCF. Then you now get the value. Then you now, find a way to, discount it back to the present. Then you now get your price per share, using DCF. You know what I'm trying to say? So, that they are a bit intertwined, but yeah, there's an IPO model. What you really want to do is to achieve, or what you want to achieve actually is to know what you should sell at the IPO. So now, I'm sure you guys understand the IPO process. Who is an underwriter in an IPO?
Eh? Yeah, of course, an investment bank. What does the underwriter do? What are they doing? What's their job? Guarantees to the what? Oh, okay. That's the answer. So, underwriter basically guarantees the amount you want to raise. So now the reason why they guarantee the amount you want to raise is because they also believe that there's an upside to your price. Meaning when your price hits the market, they are sure that they will get more money than what they've guaranteed you. Does that make sense? So you want to raise equity 10 naira, then I come and meet you and say, Emeka, that 10 naira I will give you. Don't worry, solid. So you don't have to, it's not your concern anymore to think about how to get 10 naira. However, I'm going to own all the shares that you want to issue at your IPO and benefit from the upside. All right, does that make sense? So that's how underwriters make money. Does that make sense? Yes, very straightforward. Like simple, like logic, right? Same logic. So, but underwriters lose more too. Like in case of the Twitter IPO, you know, Twitter price started going down after a while. And then it wasn't fully subscribed. Even the shares were not fully subscribed. You guys know that, right? The Twitter IPO. Okay. So, so there's an IPO model that's established, and that thing is M&A model. Or just call them a merger model. No big deal. I mean, what you want to achieve with the merger model is to understand the composition of the two businesses when they become one. Like, what percentage of this is in this, what percentage of this is in the new company. Does that make sense? Guys, I think I'm losing you guys. Is that guys thing? Where is it? You are reading dbook.com. Oh, you're right, okay. So, a merger model basically, it helps you understand, you know, the merger dynamics from a numbers point of view between the two or more companies that are trying to merge. All right. Basically, I mean, do you guys know of any merger recently? Any recent merger? Or maybe an acquisition, a recent acquisition or merger? Huh? AT&T and who? Palm One. Oh, Time Warner. Oh, okay. I thought you said Palm One. I'm like, yeah, AT&T and Time Warner. That's a good one. And that good merger case is this one that's still ongoing, or has it been concluded? The Disney, Marvel. It's not concluded now. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Disney wants to buy Marvel. Fox wants to buy Marvel. Right? Where is going? Somebody else is bidding for Marvel. Because Columbus just, I think they reneged. They said they are no longer bidding. They are going for Sky instead. Okay. Can you see, I don't know that, right? But I could possibly be interviewing you and I'll be like asking you questions. Then you now be thinking like, this guy knows what he's saying. It's not that deep, right? But yeah. So mergers, when you create merger models, in fact they are very complex. Merger models are extremely complex. Of all types of models, I would most likely think of that as the most complex, because you are going to first model two companies separately, right? Then you now consolidate. And for people that are in accounting, that have prepared things like consolidated financial statement before, understand that is within the same company, it's still like a lot of work. Now talk about, you know, two different companies, because things like maybe one-offs, you have to take care of things like one-offs. Maybe the company acquired something that made their cash flow investing shoot up. You have to like discern that. It's not relevant, right? Or maybe the company sold off something, you know, and that made their cash from other activities, or what's that thing called? Cash and cash equivalent rise up. You have to discount.
I have a question. So this is this merger model. So like, I want to ask a question I've been asked before. So what do you think are the advantage of merger, I said some things like the synergies and whatnot. I don't know how to say that stuff. So this is like again that thing you feel
Go to
the
different.
advantage of
So yeah, that's why I said you guys should not feel pressured, right? First of all, you need to and what Talent Mind tries to achieve is not giving you the answer, is helping you think about the answers. Okay, so I was about to even go to that when mergers and acquisitions. Now, mergers are there are different types of mergers. There are some, I mean, they call, or let me say there are basically two kinds or two types, horizontal and vertical, right? So when it's an horizontal merger, there are specific things you are looking out for. Does that make sense? When it's a vertical merger, there are specific things you are looking out for. Do you understand? And those specific things, they are not rocket science. Do you get? So if, for example, company A happens to be a coffee business in Jos, sorry, a tea business in Jos, and you know the biggest tea farm in West Africa is in Jos. You guys know? Sorry, it's in Kaduna rather. Sorry, Kaduna. The biggest tea farm in West Africa. The man is trying to sell now, and Obasanjo is bidding. Atiku is bidding as well. The man is very old. He's so as in I was opportunity to sit in a room with him one time in Abuja, and the guy just kept on complaining about how his children are not interested in farming. You didn't even know there's a farm that goes straight to tea. You know, so it's going to adopt you. So if you're interested in tea, you would have known before now. All right, because and that's the thing about industries. An industry may be very big, but your interest is very is a niche in that, because they are doing that is agriculture, but what they do is snail farming, and they're doing really well. One of my cousin-in-law, the guy is doing fantastic well. He lives in the US. He comes to Nigeria every 3 months. He spends about 48 hours anytime he comes to Nigeria, and he has a snail farm in Ile-Ife. All right, so once he lands in Lagos, Ile-Ife. He gets to Ile-Ife, he harvests his snails, or they've harvested it for him. There's a way they kind of drying and all of that, just to preserve it, and exports to the US. You'll be shocked. You think that it's just maybe one bag that is taken to the US. This guy literally, as in, he gets immigration. Sorry, what are they called? Customs permits. He pays all sorts of custom taxes. So you can tell the volume is shipping out of Nigeria to the US. Snail. This is doing fantastic. He's my cousin-in-law. He's married to my cousin. They have 2 kids in the US. They have a house that they are paying mortgage on in the US. Fantastic people. They are doing well. Did you get? So, and it's snail. Snail that you go and how many do you eat per time? You don't drink? How much is it? People are eating snail KFC. These people. Look, let me do this for you. You're eating snail in KFC. You form my hands. You form my hands. Who knows where we eat snails now, Jerry? Where do we eat snails? Oh, you boys, you know Yala? Has she gone? Is she still there? She's still there, Abi. When you get to it, go and visit Yala. The place. They are eating snail in the place. They're not belly one snail for you, 1K. Yeah, you're a big boy. You're chopping one snail, 1K snail. Do you know how much they sell a bunch of snail on Express? Like you are going towards Ibadan. They sell like a bunch, like maybe 6 is in one bunch. Maybe like 1.5 or something, like a bunch. Then you go and use alum to work. Do you know how to make snail? You don't even know how to cook. That's why you're eating 1,000 snail. If you know how to make snail, you know how to make snail, you're not eating 1,000 snail. You know what? Like yesterday, I was shopping yesterday evening, and I saw corn, fresh one, in Spa, and they kind of put them together, and they're like, so it's tutu.
So they put inside this very nice nylon stuff, and for 400 naira. Two corn, they're like this. I picked it, I was like, 400 naira. Just two. And they're not like the long ones, they are sturdy, but they're short. Yes, when I'm driving out of my house, I'm going, madam, the fresh one. I'll even pay the cost of roasted for the fresh, and I'm fine. It's not going to be 100 naira. So, yeah. So agriculture is that diverse, right? And someone is trying to, as a tea business, then what I now heard is that there is this company from Morocco that is a coffee business that is trying to acquire, the tea farm in Nigeria, right? It's a very large farm. I mean, I know the thing about agriculture, which is one of the things that we don't understand in Nigeria, because when you meet Nigerian farmers, we like to outsource farming. Farming is not something you can outsource. Like, you have to literally live on your farm. That's how it works. Like, when you see the white boys from Texas and co, or when you go to Netherlands has one of the best or the advanced farming system globally. When you go to Netherlands, but they live on their farm. Like, they have a ranch, they have a horse, they are riding around the farm, they are checking things out. You can't be living in Lagos. I'm a farmer, and your farm is in Osun State. Well, for animal rearing, I'm talking about planting now this time around. For animal rearing, there are ways around it. And it depends on the kind of animals. Like snails are stupid, they will not go. Catfish they are not. My dad has a catfish farm. Like, if you don't come consistently to your farm, there are those things, they bore holes and they swim away. Inside, because catfish don't need a lot of water to live. They don't need a lot of water to live. So, if you don't go there, they just like all your fish are gone. Where have they gone? They've entered mud, they've gone away. Somebody else is eating your fish for you. So, basically, that kind of merger is what? Is the result of vertical. The tea company in Nigeria, but there's a coffee company from Morocco that wants to buy the tea farm in Nigeria, the tea business. Huh? That's vertical. What is vertical?
The farm is profit of showbiz that will be produced.
The farm is what?
The farm is where they will farm.
Okay, let's start with what is a vertical merger? Let's start with that.
So probably the two companies like you said, they try to buy what is that new raw material to produce the
Yeah. So what is an horizontal merger? Fantastic. So when you're trying to go deeper into the value chain, or you're trying to go up into the value chain, is a vertical merger, more or less. So now, but when you're trying to acquire something that is not particularly a value chain issue, right? It could be just something outside the value chain, more or less. Is vertical. It's not. You're not on the same value chain. So now, this is a coffee business. It's in Morocco. So first thing, geographical reach are different. It's possible that the Moroccan company sells coffee to Nigeria, like they export coffee to Nigeria, but they actually are a Moroccan company. Does that make sense? Now, they are trying to acquire tea. So that's the competence that they don't have. I didn't say that a tea business is trying to acquire a tea farm. Do you understand? A Moroccan business, which is a coffee business, is trying to acquire a tea farm. Meaning they are trying to now move out of coffee business and they want to move into tea. Does that make sense? So what kind of merger is that? Yes, horizontal. Does that make sense? Now, if Moroccan business is trying to buy a Moroccan a coffee farm, for example, that is a different model entirely, because that is vertical, because they are now going deeper into the value chain. All right. So now, in that situation, what do you think they are trying to optimize for? Because I'm a coffee business, I'm trying to acquire a tea farm. It means that one, I'm trying to diversify my risk, because I'm exposed to the coffee business. If anything happens to the coffee business, that's it. Do you get? Now, I want to move into tea. Meaning, if coffee is doing well, tea may not do well, but I'm fine. But if tea is doing well and coffee is not doing well, I'm still fine. Maybe things will change again tomorrow. So you're trying to diversify your risk. Is that it? Now, another thing is that it's also possible that they're also trying to enter into a different geographical region as a means to establish themselves in that geographical region. Does that make sense? Because Nigeria is also one of the biggest consumer of coffee in the world. We're also one of them. We consume coffee a lot in this country. Like a lot. Don't worry, when you guys start to work, you know how they say that, you guys see that tweet? That the guy said, I think it was Covenant or so, they were graduating. So the Covenant Twitter guys, Covenant students that were graduating that year, now tweeting, oh, the stress is over, thank God and that. Then someone said, look at all these guys that are saying the stress is over. Should we tell them? You just started. I just started. Should I tell you how my day went this week? Or how my week went? Should I tell you how my week went? All right. Who likes talk? Me. Or the class? No, well, it's easier to discuss with, when you try to create pictures. And that's why this is my style of teaching. I do teaching a lot. So, yeah. So, on Monday, of course, typical Mondays, meetings back to back. Sometimes I have close to 7 to 8 meetings on Mondays. There are some meetings that are statutory. You said? Do I have a PA? No, I don't. P, are you kidding me? Am I a government official? P freaking A. Are you funny? Someone's going to give you a PA. I mean, you must be a director to get a PA in the private sector. Who is paying you? Who are you? No, they'll pay you well, but then your job is to get shit done. What is like, you have a PA? Who is paying you? You have to be a director. Like, to have a PA. As in, what are you paying for? Why can't you do it yourself? I mean, it's not, it's not government sector where 4 to 5. You now have one secretary that's typing things for you. No, let me do that too. Why don't you do your shit yourself? And I'm not an analyst too. So imagine the analysts on my team. Imagine how their day, because their day will be worse than mine. Yes, they are lower the value chain now. There are days will terrible, will be more as in if mine is terrible, just like they're in hell. I'm not joking. Because I've been analyst before and I know what it means. Alright? So my day starts typically on Monday, started at 8 o'clock because I have to meet with the engineering team of the firm. Then I had about 6 or 7 meetings thereabouts. And then I think I closed like around 9:30, which was really early. Yeah. It was really early, trust me. Like really early. Because in between these meetings, there are meetings that are statutory that have to do within my firm, there are meetings that have to do with the client. And now, this is what happens with when you are working with clients. You are more or less a babysitter. Yeah, that's my job, more or less. Because after a break. Analysis softwares that you can find around. But in your day-to-day work, you're going to be using Excel most of the time. And that was why the Excel class was supposed to be, before this one. What you guys learned in the Excel class is actually very basic. In fact, that's the beginner's class, as a matter of fact. There's an intermediary or an intermediate class, and there's an expert class. If you are, hoping to advance your skills, I would advise that you take those classes. There are a lot of people that offer classes with that across Lagos. And if you are the type that you prefer to, millennials, prefer to just sit at home with internet and stuff like that, Udemy is a very good place. You should get a $10 course. A $10 course about 3,600 or something, which is almost like the amount you spend on beer or in Quilox. Or the snail that you eat. So, because this is going to add to you for life. Most of the time, the courses on Udemy don't expire. So once you get them for life, right? And there are lots of other materials you can, there are loads of materials on YouTube. You'll be shocked at how much, value is in YouTube. For the guys that all they do is watch African Magic, good luck to you. I'm serious. I've been to offices where just see people behind the laptop. By the time you come here, just see African Magic playing in the background and stuff. So, but yeah, there are lots of materials on YouTube. There is one that even used popularly. Because the reality is that there's no class that will teach you everything you're going to encounter on the field.
There's no one singular class that will teach that. I think the best you can get from this class is to prepare you for what is to come, and that preparation is such that once you are hit with reality, you can figure things out yourself. Does that make sense? Because the difference between a good employee and a great employee is that the good employee would get things done, right? But the good employee would get things done by asking you how to get it done, by asking its boss how to get it done. So it's like I say, Emeka, please let me close the door. Then Emeka goes like, why Jay? How will I close it? Then I'm like, okay, then you just push it to the right and all that. But that's a good employee. I mean, it's fine. You can be a good employee. There's nothing wrong with it. A good employee, on the other hand, is Emeka, let me close that door. Then instead of Emeka coming to ask me questions, Emeka goes on Google. How do you close, a door? Let's say, for example. So what that means is that Emeka is figuring that out himself. And there's nothing wrong in trying to figure things out yourself. If you try to figure things out and you can't figure it out, then you can ask for help. But when you begin to ask the basic questions, like how do I do this, like close the door, then it can be a little bit annoying, if you get what I mean. Your boss may not tell you that, but it forms an impression about you. So there are a lot of things that you could just ask Google. Do you guys have WhatsApp groups on your phone? And somebody asks funny questions like, Yeah, somebody asked a question about, there's one happened recently. Someone asked a question about FRS. FRS is doing recruitment. So the person came on the place to say, does anybody here know if FRS has started recruiting? Then somebody answered and said, I'm not sure, let me help you ask my uncle or something. Then I just sent the link. Like, I just sent a Google link to the person, to the WhatsApp, with the WhatsApp group. So, I mean, I think that sent the message, right? Because the time you could have just used on Google, right? But you came to say it on the WhatsApp group. So that's, I mean, just funny. So basically, one of the most important things, or one of the most important parts of a model is what we call the input sheet. Input. Input from the word input, like I-N-P-U-T. Input. When it comes to financial models, this input sheet, it could take you months to finish it, depending on how complex the business you are trying to analyze is. You see, there are no two ways. You see, every other thing. So there's a technique in financial modeling called staging technique. And I talked a little bit about it when we're talking about the simple arithmetic, the very first sheet on Excel sheet. If you remember, I said, how do we add those three numbers? 14 plus something and all of that. And I was like, you could just do equal to 21, type it in, plus, and add code it. Then you could stage the figures and put those figures in different cells. Then you just reference those cells in a formula, right? You remember that? So that is simply what is called staging, nothing more, nothing less. Staging means you put something in between. What you want to achieve is 2 plus 2. You could either write 2 plus 2 into a cell, or you just stage the figures into different cells. So you put 2 in cell A1, you put another 2 in cell A2. Then you now put cell A3 to be the formula cell and do equals A1 times or A1 plus A2, such that if any of the figures change, you don't have to touch formula. Because in reality, trust me, I don't know if I can show you some formulas. Formulas are complex, they are long. Can you see how much I've been scrolling on the input sheet? I know formulas here. But look at this formula, for example, and this one is not even long. I've written formulas that are like all the way, next line, all the way, next line, all the way. I'm serious. I've written formulas like that are that long. Honestly. So imagine if something went wrong, then you have to now go inside, you have to be manually changing it. You definitely make mistakes. Imagine you have to do that across maybe 300, 400 cells. You definitely make mistakes. Not talk about the fact that you're going to be wasting office time. That's the truth. You are employed to deliver results, and you're using that time to do mundane things. like hard coding numbers into an Excel sheet. So the technique called staging. Staging is that you put them on a cell first, then you now reference those cells, such that if anything changes, you now, all you just need to change the staging environment. It doesn't affect the formula in the formula cell. So what your input sheet helps you to do is that it helps you to create a staging environment for your model. So everything else you see here, from this summary page, from this summary worksheet to sundry, everything is pulling data from the input sheet. Everything. And what is the input sheet simply? Input sheet is where you discuss all the drivers of the business. By all, I don't mean every single driver, because the model, right, is a simplified reflection of reality, of a situation. So the first thing here, that's why deep research work is part of the job of an analyst. You have to do a lot of research. So can you see, we start with general assumptions. So different firms, you know how they say it's different strokes for different folks, right? So different firms use different methods, right? But the firm I worked for at the time, this was the method they used. So they start with general assumptions. What are general assumptions? General assumptions are things that affect the whole market. Things like inflation, exchange rates, for example, they affect the whole market. If you work in Nigeria, you are exposed, even if your business is not directly exposed to dollars. Because as soon as dollar fluctuates like this, everything else is affected. Things like price of crude oil is an exposure to everybody. Because if it goes up like this, it affects the whole market. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Exactly. So they are called general assumptions. They affect everybody, irrespective of who you are. Sure you get. Like if they increase petrol price now, you see that carpenter will now say that something is now 10 naira. Like why? Are you using petrol? It's like, okay. They put more. There was the day that I was trying to fix my tire, and the fogger nicer guy, he was raking for this woman. The woman sells Praga, like all those women that sells, Chelsea, Soboton, Aromojija, those things. So he was raking for that man. I'm like, Ogani, fix my tire, Joe. He was like, Oga, look at this useless woman. Yeah, she said she has increased the price of kidney. She said that petrol has increased. As in, do you know, the first thing I do, I just laughed. I could not help it because I'm like, first of all, leave this one alone. If you can't buy, pay. Don't say you are going. Don't call her useless for it. Like, no, Ogbeni, pay. Petrol has increased. You want to say yes, so petrol has increased. That she's not selling for. When you think about it, she oxed, right? She doesn't use petrol directly, but for whatever reason, petrol has increased, and So yeah, so those are the kind of things that are called general assumptions, right? So inflation is one. Now this is what happens. Well, you don't. This goes without saying. Like when you quote someone, you have to like mention who you quote on, or maybe when you're writing and you state and you make a statement of facts, you have to reference your source. The source of your fact, right? For the guys that have graduated, you wrote your undergraduate thesis, and that was the modus operandi, right? So the same way in modeling, when you quote facts, you have to reference your source. So in this case, for example, we have what we call scenario analysis. Scenario analysis are saying what scenario analysis means is very basic. Like, okay, how do we take different scenarios? Does that make sense? So you have like a best case scenario, which is like, oh my God, this is our dream, this is what we want to happen. Like inflation should not just grow. In fact, inflation should reduce in Nigeria. Imagine if inflation is 2% in Nigeria. Do you know what that means for all of us? It means, well, if inflation can be like 2% in Nigeria, that means that prices would not be crazy. And if it can be sustained, it means that we'll not be having volatile prices like what we have right now. It means your income will even be, your purchasing power will be better, even though your income is the same. Do you understand? So you have what we call a base case scenario. Now, you can't just you can't just take any figure as a base case scenario, a best case scenario, right? You have to pick something reasonable. So usually you go through research. There are a lot of research firms
statistical, OECD, trading economics, EIU, CBN, what's that thing? Budget. There's another one, Bureau of Statistics, MBA, MBS, National Bureau of Statistics, yeah, MBS. There are lots of them. And you can get, I mean, sometimes research don't come to you in the form you'd like it. As a matter of fact, in Nigeria, research does not come in the form you like it. You expect that, okay, you want to Google something like, let's see, okay, tax rate. You want to find tax rate, and you expect that, okay, you find a sheet that has been prepared by maybe DFID or CBN that tells you that tax is going to be 30%. Nah. As a matter of fact, sometimes you have to go and Google speech. Like, go and research the speech from their DGs and co. So maybe the guy is just talking, I'm like, yeah, in the next 10 years, we are looking at normalizing taxes at between 30 to 40%. I'm telling you, that's where you're going to get the information from, in a speech. So you can't be thinking that all the time your research was coming in the form of a table, inflation, 98%, 99, 5%, 2005. It doesn't come like that most of the time. Okay? So, but you still have to research, right? Because you have to quote your source. So in this form, I think I was able to get this figures from these three guys. Now, it's not a must that you have 3 case scenarios. This is a 3 case scenario model. We have the base case, which is normal case. Then you have the best case, which is what you hope would happen. Then you have the worst case scenario as well, which is like, oh my God, Armageddon. All right. So there are some models you find. They have like 5 different scenarios. There are some models that have like 6, 7, 8. There are no rules to number of scenarios you can create in the model, as long as you are willing to put in the work. All right. Maybe you are there's this girl in your firm. She's like the best analyst, and you're trying to prove to everybody that you're better than her, and you're a maker, right? So what you do is what you go and do. Maybe the girl did 3 cases, you just go and do 10 cases. So that the whole firm will be like, oh my God, this is the new standard. They send it to the CEO, so we'll send a mail to the whole team, to the whole firm. Now Emeka is the standard for financial modeling. All right. So when it's promotion time, they remember Emeka before they remember the other person. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's your tactic. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's what happened with. So there are no hard and fast rules about the number of scenarios. Maybe your boss, because the truth is, if you are coming to me with more than 3 scenarios, I will not look at it. So I'll be like, oh, but just do 3. I'm fine. So your boss could say that you should do 3, but if they say to do 6 or whatever, you have to do it. So this is a 3 case scenario and whatever. Then there's another scenario for currency, right? Because this business is exposed to 2 currencies basically, Naira and dollars. So I had to do a scenario for both Naira and dollar as well. So you can toggle, let me see if I change this now, for example, this is a toggle. If I change to best case, can you see numbers flip? Can you see that numbers flip? Did you guys notice? Let me change to worst case now. You know that numbers flip, right? Then when you change maybe to dollars, okay, you will not notice dollars here. Let me see income statement or something. Yeah, income statement. So dollars now. Let me change that to Naira. Can you see? Then back dollars. Best case dollars. Best case Naira. Yeah, so those are 2 types of scenario that was taken care of in this model. Secondly is I've mentioned your inputs. Inflation was the first thing. Then we now turned inflation to a factor. You know, inflation comes in percentages. 10%, 5%, whatever percent is a rate. Inflation is a rate, right? So I have to change it to a factor. The reason why we have to change it to a factor, what's the factor? What's the difference between a factor and a rate? Who knows? Math students. Are there any mathematics students here? Engineering? You did engineering before, no? So what's the difference between a factor and a rate? No difference actually, it's just an expression. So if you want to express 10%, 10% is a rate. It's a rate. You can say that inflation is going at the rate of 10%. You want to express this as a factor. What are you going to express that? 10% of what? What is 10%? 10% is 0. What? 0.1, right? So I'm correct. 1.1. All right. So you're saying that if I so let's do this simple mathematics. Let's pick a very easy number, 100. Emeka is growing his girlfriends. Emeka has 100 girlfriends. Guys, concentrate. Emeka has 100 girlfriends, but Emeka has been growing his girlfriend at the rate of 10%. So annually, so next year, how many girlfriends does Emeka have? 110. Am I right? So Emeka has 110 girlfriends now in 2019. Do you get? If it's a factor, Emeka has 100 girlfriends, but Emeka has been increasing his girlfriends year on year by a factor of 1.10. How many girlfriends will Emeka have next year? So do you know the difference between factor and rate? What's the difference? It's just a decimal. It's a decimal expression of percentages, more or less. Does that make sense? So you can see here that inflation is supposed to be 8.5, which is like 9%, and by the time you get it, it's 1.09. Can you see here? Then this 8.05, which is like 8%, 1.08, and so on and so forth. Can you see? Can you see that? So that's inflation factor. So the reason why it was converted to a factor is because we're going to be multiplying, we're going to be doing a lot of multiplication in the model going down forward. All right. So instead of having to deal with rates, which are very hard to deal with in Excel, because you have to be remembered that it's in percent. Do you get? And sometimes percentages have a way of affecting, because say for example, 10%. What's 10%? So if I want to say Emeka's girlfriend, say the mathematics for you so that you get to see why we use factor. Emeka has 100 girlfriends, and he has been growing his girlfriends at the rate of 10%. So Emeka's girlfriends when he gets his number of girlfriends by the end of 2019, what do you first do? You say 100 times 10%, right? What is that? Equals 10. We'll now say what? 100 plus 10 equals. So you have to do this in 2 steps. Does that make sense? You have to do the work in 2 steps. So imagine if you have to do it in model. So you have to stage step 1 and stage step 2. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? Like you have to do this in Excel. You have to first do this, then you now have to do this again, which are 2 stages. But if you express as factor, you just what? 1.10 times 100, it gives you 110. So it's instead of doing it on 2 stages, you just do it on 1 stage. Does that make sense? So that's why it's expressed as a factor instead of as a rate. Does that make sense? Question.
So I'm growing number by 20. What if I do number times the price of 1 plus 20?
Yeah, you can do that too. You can do that too, but the expression of it in Excel, because you have to stage, like I said, if that changes, you can't be hard coding it. You have to stage, right? I spoke about staging earlier. So you can't be hard coding. So if you want to do that, you can do that. It's fine. You can do that. That's rate of increase. Formula for rate of increase. And some people call it compounding. Because, right? So or you can call it discounting. You are reducing. So yeah, you can do that. But you have to stage it. But it's easier when you just make it a factor and you just multiply that factor directly. Does that make sense? So it's just ease. If you think that you want to be a nerd, well, it's not a bad thing to be a nerd. But if you think that it's easier for you, yeah, we all saw you. Everybody, the whole class saw you. So now if you think it's easier for you to, express as a rate, go ahead, knock yourself out, right? Does that make sense? Now, then we have a function we call, or let me say a factor, we call it cumulative inflation factor. Now, the reason for that cumulative inflation factor is when we get terminal value calculation. All these things might sound very abstract to you now, don't worry. When you are trying to work it out, it's very easy. So when you're trying to work out, what do you call it? Terminal value. You know, I said terminal value is into perpetuity, right? So how do you tell inflation rate in 10 years time? Inflation rate 10 years time into perpetuity. How can you tell that? Because the truth is that inflation rate in 10 years time is a cumulative of inflation rates from the past. Does that make sense? So you have to now, do you guys know what cumulative means? You all use cumulative CGPAs, right? So you know that, precept of the next is based on the before, right? So that's exactly what this is. So I think this is multiplied across. Yeah, everything is multiplied across. Let me see. Formula. Yeah, it's multiplied across. Product. Equals product all the way. So this figure, 1.92, is a combination of all the figures preceding it. So this is the true performance. So if you are thinking of performance of the economy, this 1.92 is a more significant expression of inflation in 2020 than 1.09. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? Is it making sense? If it's not making sense, please ask your questions. You want to ask a question? All right. So that's why, yeah. No, it doesn't. Japan has been expressing negative inflation for years. In fact, they are struggling to keep inflation, to make inflation go back up. Their economy has perpetually been what we call deflationary mode. So it's not a must. And when you are in a recession, inflation goes down too. So inflation is not particularly a bad thing. Do you get? But it can be bad if it's not checked. You want to say something?
Is there an assumption for a decline every season? As I discussed here,
1.8, 8.0. Okay, 1.08, that's the flat factor.
and last year, 1.9. Is there an assumption for, let's say, if there is a 1.9, this is a trend of upward move. So the assumption, assuming we are prepared as a nation, and we really that assume
Okay, so are you an economist? What are economists in the house? Guys, so when you guys make assumptions, we were taught modeling, right? And there's a part of modeling where they taught you assumptions. So how do you make assumptions? Based on past trends? Yes, and that method of making assumptions. From nowhere. But that's not really promoted in science, because arbitrary assumptions are almost nobody does it. It's almost a taboo. The only reason why you arbitrarily pick a figure is that, okay, you've tried all your best to get a trend analysis and you can't get it. And that is almost not possible in this modern age. So assumptions are not things that you can just randomly pick out of thin air. You get? So even though there's a possibility that inflation might decrease, because for example, in Nigeria, right now as I'm speaking to you, since second quarter of last year, inflation was decreasing. Inflation was about 17% or so, and now it's about 12.1%. You said? 11? Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I won't do that again. I'm so sorry. 11 what? 61%. So that's supposed to show that inflation has been decreasing in Nigeria, as a matter of fact. You get? But can you make that assumption 20 years ago? No. Because this scenario, as I told you, this is the second time in the history of Nigeria, inflation will be decreasing. Second time ever. Nigeria is how old? Over 50 years. And this is the second time in the history of the country that inflation will be decreasing. The first time happened after Obasanjo became, president. Second time he's becoming president. That was when we went from double digits to one digit in a very long time. Obasanjo ended his presidency at 9%-ish, thereabout. And between that time and Jonathan's time, it became 7 point something. Then Babubu came, then he took it back to 17, right? Then Babubu is bringing it back down now. We're going to get there, all right? Support him. I don't know what you're supporting for. I didn't say sponsor him. I just said support him. All right. So basically, there's a scenario where that can happen, all right? But you can't just arbitrarily pick those scenarios, except there's a trend that justifies that. Does that make sense? Besides, you can, like I said, this model is largely reliant not on even primary research, but on secondary research. You know the difference between primary and secondary research? Exactly. So and that's why we are quoting the source. Because these guys, they're actually well-established, research firms. I'm sure you guys have heard about trading economics before, have you? Do you guys know Index Mundi, rather? Index Mundi is also a very popular research firm. You guys know about of course, CIA fact file, EU fact file. You know CIA has a fact file that's open to the public. Just Google CIA fact file. You can't Google Nigeria, you see it there. Number of police you have, number of soldiers you have, number of children, number of they have it. They keep a fact file of the country that even your own country does not keep. Yeah. So CIA fact file is a very good place to find stuff. EU, European Union, they keep the fact file as well. Of course, IMF, World Bank, they all keep research fact file, and it's open to the public. You go on their website and check it out. CBN as well is a very good source. Of course, the CBN. What's their job? Then Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, NBS, and then you have a lot of other research work. Maybe you download the research from one professor from Unilag or something. He must have done some work that you can reference and all of that. But most of the time, if you are working with clients, you most likely want to quote, well-established statistical organizations. Now, here's the trick. Most likely, they won't give you their statistics for free. So when you go to Index Mundi, for example, most of the statistics you see are not recent. So you think that they are not good. No, they are actually really good. But they will not open because it costs them money. So they sell that research. They actually sell those research. So when you work for a firm, your firm most likely has subscriptions with many of these research firms, right? So you have access to that. That's the difference between you that you're working that you're doing your own business and someone that's working maybe in a place like Goodman. Because someone like Goodman, we have subscriptions with foreign economics and all those things. And those ones are like very huge on research. That's all they do. That's their competence. So they're giving you every month. In fact, there are some research firms that they update your fact file every day with scenario analysis. If you do foreign economics, it's a UK-based research firm, and they cover the whole world. The whole world. They'll give you this very large Excel sheet, and they'll be sending you updates every day. And I'm not joking. That's their job. That's what they do. They'll be sending you updates every day. Like something has changed, and they give you minimum 10 different scenarios. 10. They'll tell you that inflation in Nigeria. They give you 10 different quotes of inflation in Nigeria. That this person said this person said this, this person said this, this person said. So they are not a research firm. They are a research aggregator firm. So they aggregate research across the world. So I used to have a subscription with them. It's amazing. So that's where you find things like this. So you have to quote your source, because when you are speaking to the client and you go like, yeah, we believe that inflation in 2020 will be 9.03%, and the guy goes like, why do you believe that? And I'm like, well, trading economics, which is a popular name. Bloomberg is also a popular name. Those are the research firms that do these things. So when you quote those people, it gives you more credibility, more or less. So your question is right? Then another thing is tax rate. Tax rate is a general thing. If you run a business in Nigeria today, you have to pay taxes, corporate taxes. Am I right? If you run a business in Nigeria, if it's a business, so it's not a non-for-profit, it's a business. Limited by liability, you have to pay taxes. In Nigeria today, it's 30%. 30. Yeah. So you have to pay that. Does that make sense? So another thing is, how many months do you have in a year? 12. However, this could be business months. So this month in a year is actually a business month for business. Some business run 12-month cycle. Some business run 6 months. You guys don't know that some business just run for 6 months. And they don't start their employees. I'm serious, so they just run for 6 months, they shut down, then they will pay you salary for the remaining 6 months, but it's not going to be as much as salary. Then when they resume next year, no. Example, schools, for example, don't run a 12-month. Schools don't run 12 months calendar. Schools, for example, as in they're in Nigeria. Yes, now teachers don't teach all year round now, do they? When you go on break, they go on break too now. So why they go on break? What's your school? Unilag, okay. But they pay them incentive, they pay them extra for this time learning. So it's not by force now. It's because you want to earn extra cash. But if there's no distance learning, whatever, or if your school decides to employ lecturers suited to that, and as much as they're not, I mean, it's only in Nigeria that you have distance learning that teachers are coming to physically teach. I mean, why distance? Really? OU has taken the step in the right direction. They now have online programs. Right. Look at when the school's in the bush. It's far. OU is far. But it's better than your school. Because you are in the street and nothing is happening. Look at your alumnus, it's Bobrisky. You what? You have certificate, so Unilag certificate, valid Unilag certificate. In fact, I have a friend that was in his class when he was in Unilag. What kind of other? Please. Don't go and say that here. Alright, so as I was saying, what was I saying? No, you can't be Bobrisky. You can't be Bobrisky. Yeah, so months, right? So these are business months. Schools don't run 12-month cycles. So if, for example, this business was a school, I mean, the months will not be 12. Does that make sense? The months will not be 12. For example, universities run 8 months cycles. They do 4 months of every semester. A semester is 4 months now. And it's 2 semesters in a year. So there are 2 semesters in a year. So they run 8 months business year in schools. Does that make sense? Primary schools. What's their cycle? Or secondary schools? Yeah, 3 months. They're 3 months per term. So they run a 9-month business year. Okay? So if it was a primary school, for example, it would have been 9. Alright? But this business runs every day of the year for 12 months. And that's why that is 12 months. Alright? So now, if you distill it back to days in month, this business runs 30 days every month. Minimum. They are open every day. 30 days every month they are open. But there are some businesses that, even though it is, so can you see the level of details? So you start big, then you begin to dig deep. Can you see the deductive reasoning? You know. So we started days in here, but even though you work 12 months, does that mean that you work every day? For example, the firm I work for, they will tell you that you are going to be working 5 days a week, which they lie. Right? But that's what's going to be on their papers. Like they work 5 days a week. Do you get? So in a month, they have how many days? 20. So they tell you that they are optional 20 days on the average every month. But it's a lie. If you go to my office now, they are good there. Alright. So days in a year. Of course, when you do that, when you multiply 12 by whatever you have here, you have the number of days you work in a year. And that's why it is 360. Then if you notice that cells are formatted differently, the cells that are hard-coded, when you hard-code something, that is like typing directly into the cell, they are in blue and all of that. The cells that contain formula, they are in the brown whatever. Do you get? So those are the kind of simple things you put in your model to make sure that okay, people don't confuse your formulas for normal text. So when I see a model like this, there's something they call glossary. You have to add a glossary or model, which tells you, how the model is formatted. So when you do that, it means that I can come and play with your model. If you send your model to me, I can come and play with your model and be tweaking these numbers. I can change it as I will. It's not a big deal, right? As long as the formulas don't change, because the formulas are very important. They must be correct. Does that make sense? So now conversion. This conversion factor is necessary because think about the fact that most of the revenue of this business is in millions. So they want to go maybe like 4x. Then they are not talking about hundreds of millions. I imagine you have to now write 336 million, 357 million thousand. You have to write all of that. It's a lot of numbers, right? So you just format them in millions. And that's why you can see that, there's million naira written as a unit. So you just apply a conversion factor. So the numbers themselves don't change, but they appear as if it's just 3.62. It's actually 3,622,000, something like that. Do you get? Are you guys following? Yeah. Okay. Now another thing is exchange rate. I mentioned earlier that this business is exposed to exchange rate. It's part of the general assumptions, right? So, naira, dollar, and you can see the quotation for the CBN. What is it? Catacraft. Yeah, that's what it is. That's the name of the firm I used to work for. I was in that firm when we did this model. CC. So the firm had a small research team. So they also projected that naira would be 197 naira per dollar in 2020. I wish they knew. Yeah. So now we'll move to the expansion cost. All right, because they're trying to raise money, right? So they have to talk about what they're going to use the money for. So this is the part that itemized all the things they want to use the money for. They want to buy computer systems, and that's how much they're going to pay for that, for those computer systems, and base case, worst case, and all of that. Building, rent, furniture and fittings, plants and equipment, motor vehicles, contingency. So for guys that are in accounting, that you have to plan for contingencies, right? You guys call it miscellaneous or something like that, right? So it means that after you've done all your numbers, you are still going to put a buffer. So it's different from industry to industry. I think the standard in accounting is 10%. Is it? What is it? There's no limit. You can just pick a number arbitrarily. Okay, fantastic. So yeah, in this case, it was 15%. That was the base case. So it was 10%. 15% was the base case, and 10% was like best case, and 25% was worst case. Yeah. So basically, that's what it is. Then total cost per shop. Average total cost per shop was also part of the whatever. But you can see that those costs were not. Who knows why you are not projected to the future? Why the cost elements were not projected into the future? Sorry. Exactly. They are one-off investments, one-off expenses. So it happened once and that's it. So you can't project that cost into the future. Does that make sense? All right. So now we've gotten to revenue assumptions. So offline activities, want to know the number of stores. They want to be increasing their stores. So they have one store. Then by 2015 they want to have 2. 2016 they want to have 3, and they want to have 10 by 2020. Can you see that? So that is their projection of number of stores because they are going to be running number of stores. The number of stores is going to be directly proportional to income. Does that make sense? Like if I have one store and I'm making 10 naira, if I have 2 stores, at least it should come 12 naira. Abi? So growth in sales per comparable store. So they are going to have different classes of stores, right? Am I that boring? So they're going to be having different stores will not bring sales at the same level. Do you guys understand that? Like an ASOS store in Oxford Street in London does not record the same sales as an ASOS store at Wood Green in that same London. You guys know where Wood Green is, right? Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. So, do you guys know Eco Market in Lagos? Eco Market. Eco in Lagos Island. Oxford Street is the Eco Market of London. There, Balogun. Oxford Street is the Balogun of London. And I'm not joking. Is that, well, of course, it's like it's not mushy and shit. It's like really clean. But that's how, like, that's the kind of traffic that Oxford Street is like where you want to get everything cheaply. Just go to Oxford Street, you will find it. So when you go, just Oxford Street. It's very popular actually. Things like a train, but depending on where you're staying, right? So yeah. Huh? What did you say? Oh, Bank of America is not. Bank of America's office is where again? It's not around Fleetwood. Not so far from Fleetwood. Yeah, it's not so far from Fleetwood. Huh? Huh? You said? Uber, okay. Yeah, there's Uber. There's Uber in London. It's not only in Nigeria that you have Uber. You can Uber your way there, but it's going to be expensive, man. Just do train, undergrounds, man. As in, by the time you think about it, I had an air course, first time. The guy said $10. I said, I not cut it again. As in, I not cut again. Are you for $10? That was when it was $250 per pound. 2,500. I just kept, look, my hair was like this. Yeah, Afro man. I'm the African intern. Alright. So yeah, so you have to compare stores, right? So like I said, a store in, let me say if you open a closed store in Lagos, in Balogun, you can compare that store in sales. You can compare the sales volume or value with a store you open in Surulere. Am I right? Because the sales in Balogun will be more. Because more people go there, more people frequent that place. Does that make sense? So you have to compare store to store. You know how they say comparing like terms in mathematics? Like compare likes with likes. Alright? So it's a matter of saying, okay, a store in Balogun will do almost the same way like a store in Oshodi market. Right? Sorry, Yaba market rather. A store in Balogun will do almost the same thing like Yaba market. Who says no? Why? When it comes to clothes, actually, clothes are cheaper in Yaba than in Balogun. Yeah, materials, yes. Materials, they are actually cheaper in Yaba than in Balogun. I do a lot of suits, so I know. Then you want to say something?
Does that mean like if I want to model a company like Nigerian Breweries that has a lot of products, I'm going to do flipping for each of that product?
You're going to do what?
I'm not going to like flipping for each of that product.
Yeah, you have to. Why do you think they're paying you? I mean, what do you mean by, why are they paying you? I mean, if it's not going to be that detailed, then what's the point? Because your friend must have charged Nigerian Breweries millions for doing this financial model. Do you know to take a proper financial modeling class in Lagos, the cheapest financial modeling class you can find in Lagos is around 360,000 naira. Per person. What do you mean by how many people? How many days? 2 days. 2 days, yeah. I did one too. I mean, when I joined Capital Crafts, they sent me on the financial modeling class. It was 2 days. In Ikoyi, somewhere in Ikoyi. Wiser Consulting. You've done the class before. Which of them? Financial modeling class. You did financial modeling class. So why am I want to finish that? Who paid for it? You paid for it? Oh, you said oh, fantastic. Your work loves you. Where do you work? United Capital. Oh, people are more jolly. Sit down. So yeah, come and finish the class. Let me come and sit. Come and finish the class for me. As in, it's that simple. So Wiser is one of the cheapest guys actually. They are actually very affordable. And they charge like 360 per person. It was 2 days now. How many did you guys use it for?
No, you did advanced and financial modeling class. So the advanced part is 3 days. And financial modeling is the last 2 days. No, it's 2 days. So and of which they have to pay for the advanced class separately. You know that, right? So the advanced Excel class costs about 180k. Then the financial modeling class costs about 320. So your company has paid how much on you? Exactly. So when you tell your company you want to resign tomorrow, that's why they don't like you when you want to resign, because they've invested in you. Okay. So yeah, that's the real deal. So advanced Excel class is first 3 days. Then they will now do financial modeling class 2 days. Now, Wiser doesn't allow you to just, if you want to take their modeling class for the first time, you have to take the advanced class first. So you have to pay for everything. But you are coming back for a refresher course. They will allow you to take just the advanced modeling and the advanced financial modeling class, which is 360k. So yeah, just 2 days. Yeah, they are one of the cheapest too. There is this people. I can't remember their name. They will carry you to Sheraton. You'll be doing modeling class in Sheraton. It's about 480 or something like that. 480. Then there are these people too. This one they will fly you. They'll fly you to Ghana. Huh? Yeah, no. They'll fly you out. They'll fly you out to Ghana. Some of them, and it's also around 420, 440 or something like that. As in, modeling is expensive. So now your company that you're working for, they will go and charge Guinness. What they spend 360k on, they will go and charge Guinness maybe like 10 million naira for it. Do you get? Then Guinness will not be like, yeah, we're waiting for United Capital analysis of our business and all that. Then that is just you that's doing it. You. Sure you get. Then you now do it. Then when you don't worry, once you start going to meetings with your boss, you see. Your boss will talk as if they're the ones that did it. And you'll be there, you'll be sitting at the background, you'll be sitting behind us. Listen. So your directors will be like, yes, so after careful analysis with our experts, team of analysts, we found out that we believe that your credit load should be this. We expect that you cut down your whatever here, optimize operations here, blah, blah, blah. It's you that said everything. That what your boss is saying is you that wrote it. So when you think about our operational factor with respect to the market trend, they are performing below market, but we believe that. So yes, from what I can hear, and based on careful analysis, believe that I'm not joking. No, that is. Am I lying? I've been following your boss's meetings. Oh, okay. Wait until you go to meetings then. They will take your glory. Don't worry. You will do it. You will do it to the analyst under you when you become boss. Don't worry, it's normal. You do it to the analyst under you. Alright? So keep calm. Be doing faithfully. Because your time is coming. Your time is coming. You will just be you take somebody's glory. You paid your price. Okay? So that's how it works out, right? And your company has charged 10 million naira. Do you get? Then you are now doing it, and it's just you that's doing it. But when you now see in the news that Guinness is about to raise, second public offering, they want to raise 140 million. You can tell that your model that they are using. Do you get? You can tell because you can see the analysis, the underwriters, everything. You are part of the conversation, and that's the joy that comes with the job that you do, because you can tell that your work is what contributed to this. Does that make sense, guys? So like I said at that time, that's the upside of what you do. You feel fulfillment. You feel so fulfilled in what you do because you are part of it. You're making history model. Yeah?
So that means like I'm doing it as a job in that thing. Like I talk about the fact that I do
Yes.
sort of the model that
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. They in fact they want to know. So we tell them, so what have you been doing? Yeah, I worked on this, I worked on that, I worked on this project that led to the eventual second public offering of Guinness, blah 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 blah. Okay, what did you do on the project? And you now tell them that I was on to create this model, blah 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 blah. Yeah. Confidentiality. You didn't come and expose their numbers now, and you are talking after the fact. Confidentiality on that is before the fact, right? Because you are a market maker as an investment banker. So that's why there is a Chinese wall. For example, the people in your firm that are traders are not supposed to know what you work on, because they could use that to affect the market in price and all of that. But the IPO has happened. The IPO has gone. It's like if you are the one that did Twitter IPO model. They're not talking about it now.
what good is your information to me? Do you understand? Of what important information to me now? The IPO that happened about 2 or 3 years ago that I did not benefit from. Now you're not saying, but what good it does to me that I can see competence. Okay? That if you can deliver that, you can also deliver something else. Or don't want to jab you that, okay, how did you guys price that? Because the price was just falling afterwards. What did you do? You get, but that's how it works, right? So you are supposed to compare stock, yeah?
So since you cannot be as students, you cannot really afford this type of sophisticated location. So do you think learning can actually offer?
Yeah, now. Yeah. That's the idea of that's why I was jabbing the guy that said online in the school. You are from what school? Really lag. It's not with you. That's why I was driving in school because they are doing this learning program and their lecturers are going to teach there. What are they teaching? Yes, because education is cheaper with technology, and that's the idea of what called MOCs, which Udemy is a part of. Yeah. So the idea is that, I mean, imagine a teacher. If, for example, I'm a teacher right now. How many of us are in this class? Maybe say 20, right? I'm just guessing. And I have to deliver this course to 20 people. But because I have to get this place, we have to rent this place, pay for lights, pay for chalkboard, pay for laptop, pay for writing materials, pay for. I'm not saying that we did that now. I'm just saying, hypothetical class. So to do all that, I have to make all those payments. By making all those payments, I have to pass the cost to you. It's business now. I have to pass the cost to you. So if it costs me 10 naira to get you into this class, I'm not going to charge you 10 naira. I'm going to charge like 15 naira. Okay? But imagine if you're now online, you don't have to come to class. You don't have to do anything. I just have to sit somewhere and record a video just once. And I put it online and I'm not doing it again. Then instead of having 20 people in this class, I can have 20,000 people. Do I have to still charge you 15 naira? I will charge you about 2 naira. Do you understand? That's the beauty of technology in education. That's why Unilag is not getting it right. Do you get? So it's as simple as that. Yeah, you guys can now tell your professors, but we think that this model is not working. We can advise you, and this is, I mean, you guys are now functionalists. We can advise you on a much more efficient model. Yeah, after graduation, very key. Because even in OAU, they will victimize you. So you compare likes to likes with respect to stores. Then number of beginning stores. I mean, how many stores do you want to begin with? The number of acquired stores, the number of closed stores. Because the truth is that not all stores will perform. They will close some stores. You guys heard about Burberry. They burnt about 31 million. Huh? Huh? Is that what happened? You want to see? Burberry. Yeah. Well, people started bringing that up because people felt it was insensitive to burn $37 million worth of inventory when there are people that don't have clothes. But they have to burn it because imagine if you have to now see Burberry on Said. Sorry. The guy is wearing Burberry. I mean, then you that you want to go and buy it at end cash, you get not be like, no, I'm not wearing that brand again. So they have to burn it. All right. Usually they confiscate it. Actually, most of the time they usually confiscate it. But I think they made public this time around, and the world did not like it. All right. Everybody just like it's insensitive. I mean, if you $37 million dollars, you know what that amounts to in naira. I mean, that will solve the problem of some countries. Not people, a whole country will solve their problem. $37 million will solve the problem of the whole country. All right. So that was why they decided, probing them to see if it was even eco-friendly, because they wanted them to pay for. Why would you do that? I mean, if you even burn it, go and burn it in the backyard. Don't let everybody hear about it. You burnt it and you now came out proudly to say, yeah, we burnt it, 7 million bottles of inventory. I mean, it is what it is. We have to maintain, the best value in the market. Just like Obasanjo went to Qatar one time, and then he was president of Nigeria. And Qatar is oil and gas. They don't really have oil. They have natural gas, and that's one of the richest, Arab Emirates and stuff. And they were talking about this, and I was like, yeah, the oil that you guys produce on a monthly basis is what I flare in my country on a daily basis. So I don't really care about your oil, about your gas. And that, and it's the truth. Nigeria doesn't explore, and we have gas, but we don't even exploit it. We flare it every day. Like we just burn it for no reason. And you know that Nigeria actually has more gas based on geophysics analysis. We have more natural gas than crude oil. But even our crude oil, we never even finish them. So that gas, we just waste that. We are big boys. You can't import gas and come and sell, cylinder of gas to us at 60,000 naira, when we should naturally be having gas for free. Because we are citizens of this country, are we not? And yes, now, if my country is producing gas, please, why am I supposed to be paying for gas? But as basic as that is, it might look like out of the blues for us because we've not experienced things like that. BlackBerry, for example, is a private business. In the height of in the days when BlackBerry was standing on the pinnacle of smartphones in the world, Canadians don't pay for BlackBerry services. And it's a private firm. Canadians, BlackBerry is a Canadian firm, right? You guys know that. The whole world pays bills of Canadians. All of us that were using BlackBerry Bold 2. Imagine you guys are using the thing that In our days, it was Bold 2. Then we used to have girls on Curve 2. They say girls on Curve 2 are always on edge. And you guys don't get the joke. Oh shit, you didn't get the joke. Because there was no 3G at the time. So Curve 2 was the end of edge technology. They now released Bold 1 and Bold 2 that had 3G. But most of the boys around them could only afford Curve. So anytime you see a girl using Curve 2 and she's trying to shaka, just like Curve 2 girls are always on edge, Shari. So it's a fun on words to say that they are always on edge. And they also, I was getting the joke. So it's a pun on words, right? By pun, I mean P-U-N.
I know. You know that.
Oh, so that you also need porn stars in P-U-N. But I heard that somebody, I thought you are aiming yourself as porn. Oh, right. Oh. Alright. So, yeah. Now, this business has offline and online activities. So this is the kind of business they want to do online. So let's analyze that separately. So speaking to what you said, if they have 20, in fact, they have 1,000 products, we analyze each product separately. Yeah, don't worry, it's not only you'll be doing it. In the more standard firms, they always, the old analyst team will just take some, part of it. Am I like models now? So somebody will work on something, another person work on another thing and all that. So that's how. So this, you can tell that this is the Wiser consulting template. That's what I knew it was Wiser all along. Yeah, I did Wiser too. Back in the day. Yeah.
How does go through that you repeated in 2020? Do you feel their
Yes, so where did you think I would get it from? You read out, what's your job? Who is this guy? What are you asking? Come on, you're funny. You read it, oh. What do you mean by you? Did you read it? Hey, look at this guy. You will read it.
One thing is to understand that they're not really on how they want to go right. Yeah, maybe
And because you are their consultant, they will be open to you. They may not be explicit because they want to publish those statements to the world, right? They will not be explicit, but you're their consultant, you are their financial advisor. Because the company I used to work with is a financial advisory firm. So part of financial, you know that when it comes to corporate finance has different arms. There is financial advisory, there is private equity, there is underwriting, there is financing, refinancing, there is fixed income. What else? There are a lot of them now. Asset management, research is the back office role. What else? What else? Security, sales and trading. Yeah. So there are different parts. I mean, different angles. So sometimes you find companies that niche. You get like the company I used to work for, financial Capital Craft. It was a strictly financial advisory and strategy firm. They don't do M&A. They don't do all of that. It's a matter of okay, we think that our finance is not going well. Help us look at it. So it's like you're going to the doctor. Sure you get, and your ear is paining you. And I told your doctor that it's my leg. Why you can tell the doctor it's your leg? You tell the doctor it's your ear now. Because just you and him. Like you just drop you in the room. It's like your parents are there. You get what I'm saying? So they will disclose that to you. Don't worry about that. They will disclose that to you. Maybe not to you directly, but to your boss. Because you definitely have questions. Like, Oga, they didn't disclose how they want to grow the firm. And I'm seeing this trend. These are questions and all that. Then your boss will talk to their boss. He will probably take you to the meeting set. Then they will now introduce you to their own analyst on the other side, hopefully the female analyst. Then you guys start to collaborate and stuff. Then be like, oh, let's take this conversation outside work. You know, do you know Casa Lydia? You can just meet up after work and just do one or two. You know, that's how you do. Just be learning now. It's not all work, because not all work and no play. Yes, so shoot your shot. You know what? She will tell you more. Wow. Some say, as in, our confidence is worrying something. As in, what do you think? Yeah. No, okay. Because man, that level of our confidence is just high. Like she will tell me more. Right. Okay. So now we've gotten to the point of expense. So the money they want to raise, how are they going to spend it? And that's what the expense part is. Cost of goods sold, we have to analyze cost of goods sold. All right, and that's also based on industry average versus what happens in what they currently do. Okay, because sometimes some companies are not very disciplined, but some are more disciplined. It doesn't mean that So for example, if you are in the telecommunication business, and the average across all the telecommunication companies is to maintain a COGS of about 45% of revenue. So their COGS is 45% of revenue. But you now have this company that is called YJ Telecoms. But because YJ is not very disciplined or something like that, YJ is maybe around 48, 49% or 50%. It's possible, right? It just means I'm performing poorly against industry average. Does that make sense? So yeah. So you have to do a careful analysis of what they've been doing in the past versus what they hope to do in the future. And if you think that they have actually put the parameters in place to ensure, maintaining that average, then you can project, not particularly project, but you can analyze what how to project that. Does that make sense? If your revenue is increasing, you mean that your operation size is increasing. If your operation size is increasing, what does that mean? The cost of operations to increase. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
So if you actually provide financial advisory service for the company, and then the company follows this together, and then during the company goes down or something, you can't really have back of investment.
No. So the reason, finance is not the only reason why companies go bankrupt or they die. Finance is not. I'm reading a book right now. It's called The Strategist. Because I'm also growing in my career. No, hard copy. Soft copy, just like that. You don't want. Authors. Yeah. So I'm beginning to read books on strategy now, And the reason is because I'm also growing my career. I'm becoming more managerial. So part of core of what I do right now is strategy actually. So I really don't do my job is not only to maintain the day-to-day activities of the company anymore. It's also to expand it. And expanding the portfolio is strategy, more or less. You have to think into the future. You have to think of how to, you need to have a goal. Then you have to start thinking about how to position yourself now to achieve that goal. That's what strategy is basically. All right. So, and in that book, I read about a company called Masco. It's a furniture company as well, and that's why I came. I told you about IKEA. IKEA is a furniture company, so there was a comparison between IKEA and Masco. Masco was already in household, not furniture, not utensils, for all these things that have to do with taps, bathroom, yeah, some like plumbing, pipes, bathroom furniture, and all of that. That's what Masco used to be in. And they were great. They were doing fantastically well. They dominated the market. They IPO'd. At some point, they became the king of Wall Street because their stocks were doing fantastically well. Then the father died, the man that owned the company died, so his son took over. So it became family business. Then the boy too did fantastically well. Then at some point, the boy now felt like, okay, he wants to expand into the furniture business. So they bought about 3 or 4, companies. They acquired about 3 or 4 furniture companies and consolidated those 4 companies. So they became a big player. Eventually, the company went bust. All right. But the reason why it went bust was because of lack of funds. They had funds. All right. But a lot of other things play out in the execution of operations every day. A lot of many things. The market environment, policies of government, a lot of things. All right. So you can't particularly say that people went bankrupt because they didn't follow financial advisory plans. Let me give you a very valid example. One of my projects is VAT automation in aviation and power sector. Now, thank God that we were fortunate to get 2 sectors. So, but think about if I just had 1 sector, and I'll tell you the end of the story. Last month, Bababu, you guys know Bababu? Yes, okay, so Bababu decided to issue an executive order that exempted aviation businesses from paying VAT. What do you think that does to my business if that was the only business I have? I have to go and sack everybody that's working with me and all of that. That's how it works. That's how it works. So I could have the best financial plan, financial advisory consultation from maybe say Goldman or anything. But how does that affect Bababu? Bababu can just wake up tomorrow and go like, we need to appease that constituency, and they exempt tax for everybody, and that's it. That business went down. So right now, my aviation business is out. I'm out of that business. The only good thing was that we saw the trend coming. It didn't happen overnight. All right, we saw the trend coming about a year ago, and we already started positioning ourselves for other sectors. So that was a good thing for me because eventually, when it happened, my management even had to oh yeah, that was a nice strategy that played off there. Okay, because I saw it coming. Okay, so you have to be abreast of things like that. But honestly, that's not the only. Financial advice is not the only reason why companies fail. That's my question. So yeah, so analysis of cost of goods sold, which is COGS. Then now went to SG&A, staff salary. Can you see how detailed this is? Staff cost, head office, accountant, CEO, marketing and sales lead, sales outlets. How many sales reps will be in each outlet? How many store attendants will be in each outlet? Everything was like that detailed. So I went to head cost per head annually. Salary of the CEO was 3 million naira per year. Are you following? Salary of the CEO was 3 million naira per year. Stockkeeper was 0.6 million, that's 600,000 naira per year, and so on and so forth. Then we now got to the point of admin expense. You guys know what admin expenses are? Yeah, office utilities. I mean, maybe you have a bathroom in the office, for example. You want to put tissue paper there now, and hand sanitizer, and air freshener, so that when people go there to fart, the people that use it will not feel the wrath of the last person that used it, right? It's not wrath. I mean, somebody polluted air. I mean, some people, don't let us go into that. Some people like tear gas. Do you know what tear gas? Like, you can suffocate. Telling you. So yeah, and there's I mean, we have to take care of that as well. We have to take care of that. Marketing expenses, telephone bills, their accounting subscription, because they have this accounting application that helps them vend. Accounting, as you know, vend. Zero. Okay. Yeah. Then diesel, because they're going to be incurring of diesel costs from generator and stuff. Then depreciation. And can you see how detailed depreciation is? So, furniture and fittings, plant and equipment, motorcycle, then also amortization as well. But we couldn't put a value, for amortization because we couldn't value their brand at the time or their intangible assets. You guys know what amortization is, right? Okay.
The kind of figures that you have there of revenue, is it like the average over a period of time or how do you compare that?
No, it's the average. You can't do it over a period of time. Your figure is your figure. The reason why these ones are in percentage of revenue is because for a clothing line, all right, when your marketing increases, revenue is supposed to increase. Does that make sense? So that's why marketing is a percentage of revenue. You can see that some of them were just flat rates. VAT is 5%. You can't do anything about that. You have to charge it. Marketing expense, marketing grows. If marketing grows, your revenue should grow too. Of course, at some point, it should taper, right? Your marketing should taper at some point. But based on the fact that it was a company that was starting, okay, it was clear that they would still be doing aggressive marketing even into 2020. Do you guys get it? So that's why it was like that. Telephone bills. So the reason why telephone bills was a percentage of revenue was because they have a very strong online business. Now, like I said, when you make order on Jumia will still call you, right? That bill, somebody's paying for it and not you. It's Jumia that is paying for it. You know that, right? So if they have more orders, right, it means that they're going to incur more telephone bills. So it's actually trailing revenue as well. Do you get? So these are the things that you have, and that's the art of it. These are the kind of things that you have to like figure out as an analyst. Because nobody will go and tell you, oh, make telephone bills. But you have to sit down with them, understand the operations, then you can tell that, okay, this will trail revenue, this will not trail revenue. Does that make sense? So see that for vend was flat rate. It won't change. Do you get? Worst scenario is going to come down. See diesel, it won't change. Diesel cost per per shop or per store will be the same because they know the number of hours that they want to run diesel for. They have a specification of the kind of generator they want to buy, and that's the kind of detailed plan that goes into business. That's the difference between a great businessman. When you see all these $10 and cool, you think that those boys are just they're just living that look. Is that you? It's the kind of plan that they can tell you exactly what they are putting into their business. You have to be that detailed. Like, okay, I want to be using a 4.5 kVA generator that consumes fuel at 2 liters per hour. I'm serious, that's how detailed, because you have to, when it comes to business environment is about what you can control. You can't do business if you can control the dynamics. It's that simple. If you can't control the dynamics of the business environment you are operating in, you can't make money. If you make money, you are in luck. That is luck, that's not business. That's like lottery. I'm telling you. You have to actively control the environment. Why do you think Dangote, remember when Dangote paid for the salary of Kogi State people? You guys don't remember. You guys you don't listen to it. Yeah. You know that the guy at Dangote Cement, they didn't leave that cage at the time. Okay, you now know now. You knew of it? Okay. So, you know that there's Dangote Cement, right? You guys know Dangote Cement. You know that the biggest cement repository in Nigeria is where? Kogi State now. Who is from Kogi State here? Nobody's from Kogi State. Nobody. Interesting. I thought the whole 36 states were represented, like federal character. They're from Kogi? Oh. So you know that the biggest cement repository is in your state? You don't know. When last were you in your state?
He's on the side.
Which January? This one? This very one that we are just finishing last night. I don't know that your state has a very large repository of cement.
Hey.
Nigerians, you people, you're just on Twitter. You don't even know what is in your state. How can you not do business? You not be like Nigerian youth are lazy. You not get angry. You don't know what's in your state. Naturally, so you guys have. Do you know the biggest uranium depository in Nigeria? Who knows where it is? Uranium, yeah. You don't know there's uranium in Nigeria. But you know where vibranium is. Shame on all of you. All of you, shame. As in, are you kidding? And you're Nigerians. You're not again. We are leaders of tomorrow. You are leaders if you don't know the basic things. I'm serious. You should know these things. So. Because how do you know if you can leverage some? Because there are some resources in the backyard. Of course, it's not our fault, anyways. I mean, it's not totally our fault because our schools do not prepare us for things like this. You know, lack of information is power, right? And there are a lot of things that you can literally take advantage of that you don't know. They're probably in your backyard. That maybe your king, the king of your village, is one that just said that, oh. And before you know what's happening, you've created jobs, you've created them, you've become a part of industry. So basically, Baba has cement interest. One of the biggest cement repositories in Nigeria is in Kogi State. Kogi is owing workers about 6 or 7 months' salary. Baba decided to pay the salary of Kogi State workers. Why? Kogi State government, at the expense of Kogi State government giving a license to unilaterally explore cement in Kogi State for the next 13 or 15 years. That's business. There's no them. It's business. It's business. He controlled that piece. You have to control all your drivers. You need to understand them, and you have to be able to control them. If you don't have control on any particular part of your business, you are just messing up. You are not doing anything. That's the issue. You are not doing anything. And it's possible now that the king of your village is one that is sitting on that cement like this. Like all you need to do is go and say, hello sir, I'm a student of Unilag. You are Unilag. What's up? Oh, wait. That's a lie, right? It's a lie. It's lying. It's lying. It's lying. It's not one of us. Is it one of us? It's not. Is it one of us? Taiwo, is it one of us? I now trust you now. I trust you now. Taiwo, I trust you. Is it one of us? You're not sure. I'm not sure too. I'm not sure. Because now I trust Taiwo. We didn't trust him before, but now he's very trustworthy. Very, very trustworthy. Oh my God. So, really, it would just be one kid that would just be like, okay, my son, let's just give you, I mean, Dagote, we've already given Dagote a lot. So you just take one small 10 acres. Just be playing with it. And before you know what's happening, you also have a cement factory. That's simple. One of the things that, I mean, there's hardly any state in Nigeria that doesn't have a natural resources. That's how great this state is. You don't, and this country is, you don't want to know. Ekiti, they have one of the biggest deposits of solid minerals. And Fayemi, the new governor, was minister of solid minerals. They didn't do one exploration like this. One. Now he's not governor now. I'm wondering what he's going to do. But well, there was. Yeah, it's Taraba or something like that. About you, which one of them? One of the big. Is that Bono? About you, one of them. It's in the north, right? That's very like a good repository of uranium. Huh? Yeah, well, Iran will not do business in Nigeria now. Because you guys don't even have the, I mean, let's just I mean, those places are safe in a way, they're smarter than Nigeria. I mean, how many people have died in Iran here? Do you know? Do you know how many people have died in Nigeria this year? As in, the deaths in Nigeria this year have been the highest in the history of this country. Since after the Civil War. The highest in the history. Throughout last year, I think the number of people that died throughout last year was about 700 and something. This year, we are not even up to half of the month yet, half of the year yet. They were already recorded 800 deaths. Do you know what that means? No. Iranians now come here and come on. Huh? Exactly. You now expect Iranians to come and their country. They just keep them away. I mean, okay. OPEC scenarios. So this OPEC scenario is a risk factor actually. It's not a must you put it. In Wiser, they taught us to put it, right? OPEC scenario. With the Wiser alumni. Alumnus. So it's just a risk. It's a risk factor that you add to your operational analysis. So it doesn't affect the whole model. It just affects the operational piece of your model, right? So just we're saying that okay, I've created my worst case, my base case, my best case, and my worst case, but I'm also applying another risk factor to further discount my activities. Does that make sense? Then we now have operating working capital. You guys understand what that means now? Inventory days, payable days, receivable days. Those are the three factors that actually apply to this business. Then we now have financing assumptions. So on the financing assumption part, you have to first take care of debt. You could take it's not in any particular order, anyways. So it was debt first. So we need to understand debt ratio. Like I told you, I said Nigerians, we know they collect debt, we know they chop debt. This is zero. They don't use debt in this business. Zero. They are not borrowing money from anybody. In fact, you need to see what we are doing that model. I say, I'm not collecting money from anybody. I run my business myself. I'm going to touch it. So they don't have any cost of debt. They are not running, totally on equity. Then, tenor, nothing, moratorium, nothing. Then equity. Can you see, equity is 100%. And cost of equity is 27%. And my 27% in perpetuity is not 27% for 10 years. It's 27% in perpetuity. It means that somebody will be collecting 10% of your profit every year until he dies. And even if he dies, he's going to pass it on to his next of kin. They now will start collecting it again. Until your company dies, they're collecting it. That makes sense. But you could just have cost of debt of maybe 30% for 2 years, and that's it. Financial intelligence, right? Yeah. Yeah, you can do a buyback. Yeah, that's an exit option. So I mean, set for me for alphabet. Yes. Do you understand? So this is what it is. The company decided to say, okay, since this is our net income, we don't want to invest, we don't want to do that thing, we want to just keep operations the same. And they share 10 naira amongst all their shareholders. Do you get? If they share it, maybe their 10, everybody goes to sleep. Everybody's fine. Next year, they make another 10 naira net income. They share it 1 naira to all shareholders. It works like that. Now, they can decide to reinvest money. Maybe say, okay, next year we need investment of another extra, 30 naira. But we have 10 naira from retained earnings, right? So let's put the 10 naira back into the business. Then we can borrow 20 naira. Does that make sense? So you've earned the 10 naira, you're still in the business, but you just need to collect it in cash. Here you go. So because of that, the company's value will increase. So you are waiting. So next year, instead of them make 10 naira, they now make 15 naira. Instead of to pay you dividends again, they said, I want to invest back in the company. Come on, invest it. Please go ahead. Then they invest again. So in 5 years' time, they want to now buy IPO. That's when you now come with your belly. Who are the underwriters? Then big capital comes up and say that they want to. Okay. So since I own 10% of the company, and over time my shares have grown, by this amount, I will sell half of it to UBA. I will make a chop very less more now. That kind of thing. And that happened. So that's an exit for you. And you can exit totally. You can sell everything. But most of the time, investors don't exit totally. They exit a large portion and they just maybe retain a little bit just to still benefit from the upside of your business. But you know that in Nigeria, it's only in Nigeria that you find investment as a very long-term oriented stuff. Like, does anybody, is there anybody here that their parents have shares somewhere? Where? Ask about that. Dangote Cement. How long has they had? Imagine. We're talking about 20 years and counting. That's Nigeria for you. We just put investments on. We just say, yeah, I'm collecting stuff. It's a lie. But that's not. It doesn't. I mean, thank God you are now a financial advisor now. So when you get to know that, you go and liquidate that investment. Yes, now because the truth is, it doesn't make any sense. You keep money perpetually in one investment. Not like the money. You know, the money that I put there, one that I put there 10 years ago is now 20 naira. Like, really? So you could have just removed that money, put inside Flutter Wave. Do you guys know Flutter Wave? Yeah. Flutter Wave did 7x in 1 year. 1 year they did 7x. Do you know what 7x is? 7 times. It's not. That's 700%. In just 1 year, it's 700% growth. So instead of me to go and lock money down inside one burning cement, what do you call that? Dangote Cement, imagine. Daddy, let's move that money. Let's go and put in Flutter Wave because in Flutter Wave we can 7x. Then in a year we are out. From that we can put that money somewhere else again. Before you know what's happening, that's what this guy does now. The wizard of what's his name? Omaha. That's what he does now. Simple stuff. It's called arbitration. That's the standard term for it in investment banking. Arbitration. You benefit from the upside of the market. You buy here, you sell low. You buy low, you sell high, then you get out, put your money somewhere else to buy low. But he has gone ahead to start looking for, he will now go and look for businesses that are dying. That's what the guy does now. You follow him. Go and follow him on Instagram. If you can't follow him anywhere else, follow him on Instagram. It's very easy. You'll be seeing what he's doing. Look, you go and buy companies that are dying. You buy it, inject Harvard boys into their board. The company rise up again. So he buys them undervalued. You just can bring Harvard boys. And do you know that the salary of the Harvard boys are the money that he has put in? That's what they used to pay the salary of the Harvard boys. So it's win-win for him. Then the business goes back again and sell it. You know, like you said that 5x. It wasn't a very fantastic investment, but we did 5x. Over the course of 3 years. That's business. That's financial intelligence. Okay? Any question? So do you guys know what risk-free rate is? Risk-free rate. What is risk-free rate? On government securities, yeah. And risk-free rate is different from country to country because it applies just to government of that country. Does that make sense? Because it's assumed that the government of a country cannot go bankrupt. Yeah. Even Zimbabwe has not gone bankrupt, right? You guys know now that to buy bread with bamboo, you have to carry wheelbarrow. Like, we are now. So if me and Emeka go and start a business in Zimbabwe now, Emeka and Sons, just go and start a bread business. How much money do you think we need? Importer, exporter. And Emeka will be good for this because he's an Igbo boy. He's just like, I have 7 containers in ICs. That's straight up. So the risk-free rate in Nigeria is about 13% at a time. And then you guys know what return on market is? Return on market. You guys have been taught this now. You guys have been taught valuation. So you have been taught return on market. You want to try? Yeah, because it's too hard. That year was 2014. Huh? Yeah, it was 2014. So what's return on market, guys?
Return on market is like what the market is for taking the extra risk for
yes, always higher than risk free, yes. And or it's ideally supposed to be higher than risk free. In Nigeria, it's not higher than risk free. Sorry. In fact, that's why we chose that 30%, so that investors will not look funny. Return on market, there's a formula for return on market now. RM equals RF plus RL clinical. You guys have that formula now? Valuation, I can't remember that formula again. You got the what? Oh, this capital plus R what? So capital is a model, right, for getting return on market. Then what's beta? Rate of volatility, of course. Rate of volatility, market volatility. And so a company that has volatility of 1, what does that mean? 1. Exactly. So what if it has 0.8? What does that mean? Yes, less volatile than the market. And if it's more, it's more volatile than the market. So say during Ebola time, for example, who was most hit by Ebola? What industry in Nigeria was most hit? What sector was most hit in Nigeria? Pharmaceuticals? There's no drug for Ebola now. Huh? Hand sanitizers. As in that was selling like Omo. As in there are no two ways about it. Like one of our neighbors that he started business, hand sanitizer business. Let's forget it. As in next minute is they are importing and exporting hand sanitizers into this country. I didn't even know what hand sanitizer. Okay, I saw hand sanitizer once. I saw it with a doctor, and he had this very small one. It was OAUTH. So the guy, I mean, one of the, he just was doing residency at the time. I know you boys, you know, when they start doing their residency, they now turn to big boys because they're earning 120K a month. All of them. CAPM is a model for extracting space. Yeah, that's that model is.
But the model, you have it there as current and return on market. Then inside the function itself, as the RM of this kind of you have RM there.
Do I have RM? Oh, so CAPM equals RF. Okay. Whack. What's whacking? Sorry, what's whacking, guys? I'm forgetting this thing. Cost of profit. Yeah, with weighted average cost of profit. Okay. Let me see, because you're making sense. Yeah. Return on market RF minus market premium. So, all right, cost of equity. According to Wikipedia. Wikipedia says here is expected return. Cost of equity. Then R minus RF. Market.
I cannot remember if I saw the card formula, we will it's always
Yeah, risk reward is always given. The problem here is the return on market.
I think the return of the market
On the ocean index. Everything going as an area. this minus this is going to be your premium. That extra premium you get if you for investing in the market, because you take out the risk-free portion of the mixes. I'll confirm this because to be honest, I'm already still in this. I wrote the formula for that and it was 27%. RF plus beta, blah 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 blah. But you guys can confirm with your valuation, midnight manual valuation. What else? Any question? So you guys know what the dividend payout ratio is? What's the dividend payout ratio? To shareholders, yeah, basically. You guys get that? Any questions? Any questions, please? Because this is clearly the end of the class. Any questions? Yeah, next question.
How do you decide for
Financial modeling class. Go and take in financial modeling class. That's what they call this class, integrated financial modeling. Do you know what integrated science is? It's not what you study. It's not what you study in university, right? So that's exactly what this is. It's integrated financial modeling. You said integrated science in university and education. So it means that the main component is education. Okay now. What else? You can come and meet our Rihanna, right? Shakira. If you have 360K that she can connect you. But honestly, what?
like is this only for those that have access to build model?
And like the model in the day now.
Exactly. What about assignment? And you give us this the modeling assignment.
Who? I'm the one that will send you. You have to figure it out, but it's very simple. No point me teaching you. You can just go and Google how to use merge or index function on YouTube.
Not that. The Martin guy told us that I use the margin and the scenario.
Yes, you can.
You just mentioned the formula. Now, how do you use them in the problem?
I didn't even use merge, and when I created my own scenarios, I didn't use merge. So the thing about Excel is that Excel is very robust. You can do many things different ways. There's many ways to skin a cat, right? I didn't use merge and index here, but you can use merge and index. Here, I think I use index. Yeah. So for this, I use index. And for this toggle, it wasn't index. So this toggle was, I can't remember. No, it's not the type of edition. Yeah, it's a button. It's a drop down. So if you have this tab, developer, you have a developer tab on your Excel. On your Excel, if you have developer tab on Excel, you need to add buttons, drop down menus, radios, you know. You can activate it by the way. Just go to options, you see tabs, activate the developer tab. Yeah. Any question, anybody? Any question, guys? You said?